Chapter 289. After what happened that night, Sheng Minghui began to weigh her chances of snatching the Englishman from Sheng Minglan's hands. How could she face the man at home, after losing her chastity to her brother-in-law? Moreover, she had a taste of the man's ability in that aspect, which was the most addictive part of her. Sometimes, women cared so much about a man's sexual bliss. Moreover, with the man's comprehensive ability in all aspects, she felt that she could give it a try this time. Still, there would definitely not be any consequences if she broke through Grandpa Sheng and Sheng Minglan. But it would be a different story if she could break the Englishman's bottom line first. After a long time of planning, Sheng Minghui finally got the man's contact information and knew which hotel he was staying in. There were only a few days left, and the preparations for Sheng Minglan and the man's engagement ceremony were complete. It would be too late if she didn't get there soon. As usual, Sheng Minglan and the Englishman tried on gowns and accessories while making final confirmations about the hotel. That night, Sheng Minghui was waiting outside Xing Mansion. When she saw the Englishman's car leaving the house, she made up her mind to chase after it. When they reached the hotel, she directly blocked the Englishman's way. Their gazes met, and there seemed to be a mysterious attraction between them. After all, the craziness of that night had left a deep impression on both of them. "You are Minglan's younger sister." Sheng Minghui approached the Englishman and whispered under his chin, "I'm the woman who spent the night with you." The Englishman's gaze was shocked, but there was also a throbbing. "How can you prove it? Won't you know when we go to the room?" Sheng Minghui arched a brow charmingly. Hence they entered the room, and once inside, Sheng Minghui wrapped her arms around the Englishman and started kissing him, oblivious to everything else around her. And it was that familiar taste that made the Englishman come to a sudden realization. "It's you, it's really you." "Of course it's me," Sheng Minghui said seductively. "It must be unforgettable. Ever since that night, I couldn't forget you." Now that the Englishman's flame had been ignited, he naturally wanted to inspect the goods. Therefore, they soon fell onto the bed behind him, and in no time at all, they were inseparable. It felt exactly the same as that night, and the Englishman almost lost his mind. "I didn't expect it to be you. It was such a wonderful feeling. But you're about to get engaged to my sister." After that, Sheng Minghui got up from the bed to keep the Englishman away. "You will be my brother-in-law in a few days. Minglan, I don't want her. I want you. I want you." Sheng Minghui put on her clothes and smiled provocatively at the Englishman. "Do you dare to go to the Sheng family and ask for my grandfather's hand in marriage?" Sheng's flame was no longer. The Lishman's old Sheng was Sheng. Their Sheng's Ling was old Sheng. 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 He Shengli said. Sheng he. Sheng. It's Sheng, it's still you. With that, Sheng Minghui picked up her handbag and was about to leave when the old Englishman grabbed her and pressed her down. "I want you. I want you." Sometimes relationships between men and women were weird. It began with an accident, only to become infatuated with that accident. Sheng Minghui certainly couldn't return to Xing Mansion that night. After all, she really liked the Englishman's body and abilities. How could Sheng Minglan's meek personality win over the Englishman who loved thrills? It was better to let her have him. The next day, Sheng Minghui returned home full of energy and charm. After all, she had slept with Sheng Minglan's fiancé, which made her feel like she had snatched something from Sheng Minglan. At the dining table in the morning, old Sheng told everyone to focus on the big event in 2 days. After all, it wasn't Sheng Xiao and Mu Qiqi's engagement, and the Sheng family had to be present. Moreover, the old man specifically told Sheng Minghui, "Fourth sister is getting engaged. Could you not mess things up?" "What, Grandpa? Do I like to mess things up?" Sheng Minghui asked with a smile. "You have the nerve to say that." The old man snorted and said nothing else, but Sheng Minghui chuckled to herself. Was she just messing things up? What could Sheng Minglan do to her if she wanted to snatch this person away? Even Sheng Xiao and Mu Qiqi couldn't force the Englishman to marry fourth sister. Could they? At the moment, Sheng Minghui was rather smug. She simply didn't know that she had helped Sheng Minglan leave the Sheng family. In the afternoon, Mu Chichi arrived at the Lu family's house again. She didn't need to make an appointment with eldest Lu at the front desk, and simply sat quietly in the living room, reading her books and completing her homework. Eldest Lu didn't come to see Mu Chichi when he heard about it from the secretary, and continued with his own business and meetings. Mu Chichi didn't insist, and left the Lu family's house half an hour later, saying that she would come again. The secretary couldn't help chuckling when she conveyed Mu Chichi's message. If the little girl really wants your help, couldn't she just ask the crown prince to come personally? Eldest young master Lu pushed up the golden glasses on the bridge of his nose and shook his head. If she comes again tomorrow, ask the receptionist to tell her that if she can't come up with a feasible solution, she shouldn't show up again. Many things can't be done with sincerity. Got it, CEO. Mu Chichi was only 19 years old, and no one would put their hopes on a little girl like her to stir up trouble. Still, Mu Chichi wasn't discouraged. Although she felt that she could do it without eldest Lu's help, she still wanted to do it perfectly. The Sheng family's expectation for her was that she would complete her mission, as long as the two daughters-in-law of the Lu family didn't fight. What special VVP night? Could she do it with her ability? Moreover, the most important thing for the Sheng family now was Sheng Minglan's engagement, and no one would care about what she was planning for now. That night, Sheng Minghui was having a passionate affair with the man who was going to be her sister's. She seemed to be especially infatuated with the feeling of teasing Sheng Minglan. So, the things she could do with this man were even more unrestrained. Who wouldn't like such a stunner? She was open-minded and knew how to play tricks. If she could make a man happy in bed, what else could she not get? You're going to be engaged to my sister in one day. Are you really going to abandon me? Baby, it's just an engagement. You can call it off. Chapter 290. Of course I only want you. You know how infatuated I am with you, and your body. Then wouldn't it be better if we could officially get engaged? I would agree to anything you want then. But now we can only have an affair. The Englishman couldn't stand the pressure and clutched his head. Baby, let me think about it. Then take your time. Don't even think about touching me before you think it through. The man was wavering because he was afraid that old Sheng wouldn't agree to it. It seemed that she had to come up with something. Or wouldn't everything be for naught once the engagement ceremony was held? Sheng Minghui returned to the Sheng family in the middle of the night, but kept thinking about how she could stir things up. Meanwhile, Sheng Minglan was still seriously preparing for the establishment of her company. Both of them wanted to make a big deal out of the engagement ceremony, but Sheng Minglan never expected that Sheng Minghui would be so shameless. On the next day, there was only one day left until Sheng Minglan's engagement ceremony. Over the last few days, Sheng Xiao had noticed that Jing Yun's mind was entirely on Sheng Minglan, and his heart was hanging by a thread for her. What Sheng Minglan said that night was like a dream to him. To be honest, did he not have any expectations? That was impossible. But he knew that Sheng Minglan was already drunk at the time, and was clearly joking. If you're so worried, why don't I give you a few days off, and keep fourth sister company? Jing Yun quickly came to his senses at Sheng Xiao's teasing voice. I'm sorry, young master. Go. See if fourth sister needs help. Or perhaps you need to keep an eye on the Englishman. After all, he knew very well that Jing Yun was just a shell even if he stayed by his side, and it was time for him to groom a new assistant. After all, how much longer could Jing Yun help him? Jing Yun glanced at Sheng Xiao, but obeyed and left his side. At that, Sheng Xiao called the eldest son of the Lu family. Chief Lu, it's Sheng Xiao. The other party finally laughed when he heard Sheng Xiao's voice, but there was a hint of mockery in his voice. I knew it. Knew what? Or did you think that Mu Chichi is just a 19-year-old girl who can't do anything other than rely on me? That's why you called. As you think, eldest young Master Lu answered honestly. Eldest young Master Lu, I'm very displeased with your attitude. Sheng Xiao's voice began to turn cold. How about this? I don't think you really care for your wife. Otherwise, why wouldn't you dare to gamble when there's no loss of interest? I will talk to Qi. I don't need your cooperation. We will settle the VVP night in Huangyao as usual. But I can't guarantee that your wife's attitude towards you will change after that night. Are you threatening me? It's just as you think. Do you think that Muchichi can't do anything with me around? Eldest young Master Lu. He did not consider this relationship at all. He simply did not trust Muchichi. That's it. With that, Sheng Xiao was about to hang up when eldest Lu suddenly spoke up to stop him. I can work with you. Don't tell Qi, or that I called you. This time, Sheng Xiao really did hang up. On the other end, eldest Lu was suddenly curious. From the looks of it, the crown prince did not call because Muchichi asked him to, and Muchichi was not in the know. Moreover, Sheng Xiao told him not to tell Muchichi. In other words, he wanted to protect Muchichi's pride. It seemed that the rumors were right. The crown prince really did treat his little bride as the apple of his eye. Since Sheng Xiao was backing him, he could give it a try. After years of being stuck in a marriage, he wanted some change. That afternoon, Muchichi met eldest Lu as she wished, and he was delighted. How do you want me to cooperate? Muchichi was taken aback. Why did eldest Lu suddenly change his mind? What? Didn't you want me to cooperate? I just need you to think of a way to get this set of jewelry. This was polished not long after Huang Yao was established. It is priceless. It was originally not for sale, but in order to tide over the difficult times, the CEO of Huang Yao auctioned this set of jewelry. I want your wife to become the most beautiful person on that night. I want her to understand that she has a husband who loves her the most. She should be looking down on those despicable people now. So are you willing to let her shine on the bright night gala? Eldest Lu nodded when he saw the exquisite set of jewelry. It's been years since I gave Zixin a decent gift. This is the perfect time to make up for it. Tell me on time whether you find the set of jewelry or not, or I can prepare something else. Is this what you want me to do? Eldest Lu became even more curious about Muchichi. You're trying so hard to help me save my marriage, just so that Huang Yao's VVIP night could break the usual stalemate? Because that's the crux of the matter. Muchichi did not waste too much of eldest Lu's time, and left the office after she was done. Eldest Lu was even more intrigued now. Just when you thought that this girl was just a rich second-generation heir, she quickly slapped you in the face. Interesting. I finally understand why the crown prince fell in love with her. Chief Lu, Muchichi is not as simple as she seems. His secretary replied. Then let's look for the jewelry. I want to give Zixin a surprise too. Yes, Chief. In fact, Muchichi was not without doubts even after she left the Lu family. Wasn't it strange that she suddenly changed her attitude when she was unhappy to see her 2 days ago? Therefore, when she got home, Muchichi quickly found Sheng Xiao and climbed onto his thighs to interrogate him. Did you contact that young master of the Lu family behind my back? Sheng Xiao was unmoved. Did he give you the green light? Was it you? Muchichi tugged at his ears and shook him. Was it you? Only you would dare to twist my ears like that. Sheng Xiao shielded Muchichi, not letting her fall off his thighs. Humph. Can't you let me rely on myself? At most, I'll spend twice as much time, but I'll always be able to do it. If you do this, it'll really become your homework this time. I'm just giving you a chance. I might not help you even if you beg me later. Sheng Xiao said, pressing down on his little one. Chapter 291. That's a promise. You're not allowed to interfere from now on. Whoever does is a pig. Muchichi clung onto Sheng Xiao's shoulder and made a promise. Sheng Xiao couldn't help leaning back and looking at Muchichi with a half-smile. Aren't you the pig I'm rearing? How is fourth sister doing? It's almost the engagement ceremony. Will she be all right? You should ask Jing Yun about that. Sheng Xiao held her down so that she wouldn't move, tidied up the documents in front of him, picked her up and walked to the bedroom. There was only one night left. How could Sheng Minghui not be anxious? Over the last few days, she had been making love with this man every day. Wasn't it to change his mind? However, this man, until now, did not move, and she was already anxious. Will, if you don't explain things to Grandpa tonight, I'll give birth to the child when I get pregnant. You'll be in even more trouble when things get out of hand. I haven't used any contraceptives these days, you know. In fact, the Englishman was on the verge of breaking down too. He was obsessed with Sheng Minghui. He had thought that he could calm Sheng Minghui down first and correct the mistake after the engagement ceremony. But Sheng Minghui clearly wanted herself to be the bride-to-be at the engagement ceremony tomorrow. And just as Sheng Minghui said, she might be pregnant. If that was the case, he could change his bride. So, at 8 o'clock that night, Will suddenly called Grandpa Sheng and asked for a meeting. Half an hour later, Will's car arrived at Sheng Mansion, and he went straight to Grandpa Sheng's room. But 2 minutes later, Grandpa Sheng flew into a rage and barked at the servant. "Get Miss Minghui and Miss Minghui here." Sheng Minglan was still at the new company, and completely unaware of what was happening when Grandpa Sheng suddenly summoned her to the Sheng family. Jingyan followed her, fearing that she might have some problems and need help. When they arrived at Sheng Mansion, Sheng Minghui was already kneeling in Grandpa Sheng's study. "Grandpa, Minglan." Grandpa Sheng found it hard to speak. "Sheng Minghui, tell your fourth sister yourself." Sheng Minghui glanced at the old man and then at Will, before rising to her feet and telling Sheng Minglan, "Actually, the one who slept with Will that night was me, fourth sister." "What do you mean?" Sheng Minglan asked. "What do you want to do before I get engaged?" "Fourth sister, it's true. Because of this, Will and I love each other and want to be together. That's why he wants to break off his engagement with you and get engaged to me." Sheng Minglan took 2 steps back at that. "Say that again?" "Will wants to replace me as the betrothed bride for tomorrow's wedding. Actually, we've been together for the past few days. We really like each other. He's just afraid of hurting you, so he hasn't said anything. But we don't want to continue making mistakes, so Will came to Grandpa and laid his cards on the table. He doesn't want to make a huge mistake." At that, Sheng Minglan slapped Sheng Minghui. "To put it bluntly, aren't you the one who snatched my fiancé? What was the point of saying so many high-sounding words? B***tch. Grandpa drugged my wine that day, and you're saying that you were the one with Will? What about me?" Sheng Minglan was furious. "Do you think getting engaged is like playing house or shopping? We've already sent out the wedding invitations, and everyone knows that I'm getting engaged to Will tomorrow. And now you're trying to snatch my love away? Is this how you treat your sister, seventh sister?" "Minglan, I don't know where you were that night, but I'm sure that you weren't the one who slept with me. You can go for a checkup." Will had joined Sheng Minghui's side. "So, you adulterous couple, what do you want?" "Minglan, don't get so worked up." The old man tried to calm her. Sheng Minglan was shaking all over. "Grandpa, you're the one who wanted me to marry Will, and you're the one who drugged my wine. You're also the one who wanted me to get engaged to Will. Now I've resigned myself to fate, but my sister stole my fiancé away. Wouldn't you be worked up if you were me? Tomorrow is the engagement ceremony. It's useless for you to be emotional now. I'm also angry at the two of them. But they've been hanging out together for the past few days. Who knows, they might have a child soon. If you two get engaged tomorrow, won't you be at a disadvantage?" "Grandpa, I won't agree to cancel the engagement. At most, we'll blow things up tomorrow and see who's in the right. Fourth sister, I'm begging you. I really like Will, and you won't be happy with him if you force yourself to be with him." "But Grandpa was the one who forced me in the beginning. He didn't even ask me if I'm willing. Anyway, I won't budge no matter what you say. The engagement ceremony will continue tomorrow. Minglan, you can't do that. Otherwise, the Sheng family's reputation would be ruined." The old man stopped her. "Wouldn't people talk about the Sheng family if we changed the bride tomorrow?" Sheng Minglan asked the old man in return, tears streaming down her face. "I don't agree. Minglan, seventh sister is shameful, but I'll find a better man for you if she takes your place and gets engaged to Will tomorrow." "There's no need," Sheng Minglan yelled in despair. "Grandpa, you're biased towards seventh sister. You think of everything for her, which is why you're sacrificing me. Fine, if that's the case, there's no point in me living. I'd rather die cleanly." With that, Sheng Minglan picked up a fruit knife beside her and slit her wrist. The old man was terrified when he saw it. "Minglan, silly child, don't come near me again. You can let seventh sister replace me tomorrow. But let me tell you, from today onwards, I'm no longer a member of the Sheng family. If you arrange another marriage for me, I will die in front of you. I mean it." The old man panicked. "Put down the knife. I'll promise you anything. Promise me everything, including letting me continue the engagement tomorrow." Well, set me free if you can't, or don't save me. The old man knew very well that it was a huge blow to Sheng Minglan, which was why he had to relinquish his control over her. I'll listen to you. I won't force you again. I want you to swear it, or the Sheng family will end without descendants. Sheng Minglan raised her right hand determinedly. Chapter 292. Remember your vow today. Sheng Minglan finally put down her right hand after she heard that. Seventh sister, hurry up and get a doctor for your fourth sister. Grandpa Sheng quickly said when he saw that Sheng Minglan had relaxed. In fact, Sheng Minghui did not expect Sheng Minglan to have such a big reaction. So, she quickly went up to Sheng Minglan and tried to cover her wound. But, no need. Don't touch me. Sheng Minglan pushed her away. Don't touch me with your filthy hands. Sheng Minghui froze on the spot. Meanwhile, Sheng Minglan covered her wound and took 2 steps back. I wish you two the best of luck. I wish that you two will live a long life together and die a horrible death. With that, Sheng Minglan glanced at Grandpa Sheng as if she was deeply hurt. Then, she turned and left Grandpa Sheng's study. Minglan. Grandpa Sheng wanted to stop his daughter. But why would he stop Sheng Minglan? Her fiancé was stolen, and her reputation was tarnished. As a grandfather, he could not stand beside Minglan because the engagement ceremony would be held tomorrow. Looking at the 2 culprits behind this incident, Grandpa Sheng trembled in anger. As you wish. Get out of my sight now. Grandpa, thank you for helping me. I know you love me the most. Grandpa Sheng had no choice. The 2 of them had already confessed their physical relationship. How could he stop them? Did he have to put Sheng Minglan in as well? However, no matter what, this matter had caused a great deal of harm to fourth sister. This was the first time he had felt such a deep sense of guilt towards his granddaughter. And that was exactly what Sheng Minglan wanted. Late at night, Sheng Minglan walked out of Grandpa Sheng's room. Jing Yin was shocked when he saw her hand covered in blood. He quickly went up to her. What happened? It's nothing. I cut myself. Let's go to Jingting first. No matter what, we have to stop the bleeding first. With that, Jing Yin dragged Sheng Minglan to his old room. He put her on the couch and went to get the first aid kit. Why did you hurt yourself? Jing Yin squatted in front of Sheng Minglan and cleaned her wound. Luckily, it's not too deep. I just wanted to scare Grandpa. I know what I'm doing. Sheng Minglan explained. Jing Yin, you don't have to argue with Grandpa tomorrow. He has promised me that he will not interfere with my marriage or control my life. Don't say anything. I'll bandage it for you. To Jing Yin, the most important thing was her body. Everything else, no matter how excited she was, should not come at the cost of her body. Don't do it again. In that situation just now, I had no other choice. This was the only way for Grandpa to see my pain and determination. Jing Yin quickly bandaged her wound before pulling her up. Let's go to Jingting. Wait. Sheng Minglan suddenly remembered something and grabbed his hand instead. Do you remember? I told you that night that I told you, and I would get together if I could get away from Grandpa. Jing Yin froze at her words and stared blankly at her. I thought you were drunk. I thought you were drunk. I'm not. I'm sober. Sheng Minglan said seriously. Jing Yin's expression was very unnatural. He still wanted to carefully protect his feelings for Sheng Minglan. But it was precisely because of his hesitation that Sheng Minglan suddenly stood on her tiptoes and kissed him on the cheek. This time, Jing Yin was completely dumbfounded. It's fine. Let's go to Jingting first. I will wait for your answer. With that, Sheng Minglan walked in front of Jing Yin. Jing Yin's reaction was slow. It was only after a long while that his face turned as red as a cooked lobster. The atmosphere was a little awkward. The 2 did not speak on the way to Jingting. Meanwhile, Sheng Minghui had successfully snatched the Englishman from Sheng Minglan's hands. Grandpa Sheng had decided that she would replace Sheng Minglan as the bride-to-be tomorrow. To prevent the guests from being embarrassed, Grandpa Sheng had come up with a trick. He would say that the bride's name was wrong. It was not Sheng Minglan but Sheng Minghui. That way, the guests could only accept it. But no one could have imagined that the Sheng family would change their bride-to-be at the last minute the night before the engagement ceremony. Mama Sheng could not help sighing when she heard about the drama before going to bed. Seventh sister is really bold. She even dared to snatch her brother-in-law. And she did such a shameless thing. What's worse is that we have to explain and smile at her tomorrow. I heard that fourth sister cut her wrists on the spot. I really don't know how disappointed and desperate she is. Papa Sheng waved his wife off to let her rest after listening to her nagging. Let the two brothers fight. It has nothing to do with us. The brothers that Papa Sheng was referring to were fourth sister and seventh sister's father. If that's the case, fourth sister would definitely not go to the engagement ceremony tomorrow. How sad. Perhaps everyone in the Sheng family thought so, especially Sheng Minghui. When she saw how devastated Sheng Minglan was last night, she was filled with the exhilaration of victory. What was hers now? And with that, her background would have a considerable boost, and she would have more confidence in the Sheng family in the future. So, after the thrilling experience in the study, she danced around in her room. Tomorrow's bride-to-be would be Sheng Minghui. If that was the case, Sheng Minglan would not appear tomorrow, would she? Although Grandpa Sheng had an excuse to the public, who could not see the crux of it. If Sheng Minglan showed up tomorrow, she would definitely become the target of sympathy, because she was abandoned by the groom the day before the engagement ceremony. But who would care about Sheng Minglan tomorrow? Now it was time for Sheng Minghui to get lucky. When Jing Yun brought Sheng Minglan to Jingting, Sheng Xiao and Mu Qiqi were already resting. Sheng Xiao frowned when he saw Sheng Minglan, who was injured. What happened? Sheng Minglan sat on the sofa and told them everything about Sheng Minglan stealing her man. Maybe what happened that night gave her the idea to beat me at my own game. That's why there was such a good show tonight. Sheng Minglan probably doesn't know how much help she has given me. At this moment, seventh sister must be very pleased with herself, because she stole your man from your hands and successfully humiliated you. She didn't have to confront Grandpa Sheng directly, and even won his guilt. Sheng Minglan doesn't know that you are the biggest winner. Sheng Xiao took out a glass of red wine from the wine cabinet and poured it for Sheng Minglan. Congratulations, fourth sister. I didn't expect things to turn out this way. I had already prepared for the worst. Sheng Minglan breathed a sigh of relief. Sheng Xiao smiled too. We achieved our goal without sacrificing a single person. We can continue to bide our time. Tomorrow, let's focus on watching Sheng Minglan's show. Chapter 293. After finishing the wine, Sheng Xiao looked at Jing Yun's face and ears, which were all red. What did this guy do to his fourth sister? Since it's seventh sister's turn tomorrow, you should rest in Jingting tonight. Qi and I will continue to sleep. You two do as you please. With that, Sheng Xiao winked at Mu Qiqi. Understanding his meaning, Mu Qiqi nodded. Me too. I'm suddenly very sleepy. I'll leave this place to you. With that, the couple got up from the sofa and went upstairs one after another. They clearly wanted to give Sheng Minglan and Jing Yun some alone time. Knowing their intentions, Sheng Minglan blushed and glanced at Jing Yun. If that's the case, you should stay with me. Miss Minglan. Sheng Minglan grabbed Jing Yun's arm and made him sit on the sofa. Then she leaned her head against him. If you really don't like me, you can push me away. Jing Yun. Sheng Minglan smiled in satisfaction when she saw that Jing Yun did not move. She felt relieved. Jing Yun, do you think I'm old? Of course not. Jing Yun quickly replied. I don't have any power or background. I can't protect you, and I don't want to bring trouble to you. Grandpa has promised not to care about me. At least, you can slowly think about how to protect me in the next 1 or 2 years. Sheng Minglan's voice was very soft, but she mustered a lot of courage. I don't know if it's the right thing to do, but I want to be like Sheng Xiao and be loyal to my heart. That way, no matter what happens in the future, at least I would work hard and have no regrets. Isn't the scariest thing in life to be afraid of failure before it even starts? Even if he knew that, Jing Yun was still afraid, because he knew that some things would be beyond redemption once they started. Sheng Minglan sighed when she saw that Jing Yun did not move. You're really frighteningly rational. Jing Yun let Sheng Minglan lean on him, but that was all. He was completely holding back his emotions. After all, he had not thought about whether he should start this path of no return. Upstairs, Mu Qiqi peeked at the scene downstairs and couldn't help feeling disappointed. Fourth sister is taking the initiative. What's Jingyan doing? Afraid that the people downstairs would see them, Sheng Xiao quickly dragged Mu Qiqi into the room. Why are you looking at other people? Don't tell me I haven't fed you enough? Xiao Xiao, why do you think Jingyan is so stubborn? Mu Qiqi did not realize that her pajamas had already been taken off halfway. When she came to her senses, she realized that her earlobe had been bitten by the man. Since fourth sister has already thought it through, Jingyan will accept his fate sooner or later. Why do you have to worry about him? That's true. Mu Qiqi nodded, only to find that the man's lips were already moving downwards. Don't bite there. Both upstairs and downstairs were filled with warmth. Although Jingyan did not respond for the entire night, he did not resist, did he? When the sky turned bright, fifth aunt came over and saw the mess in the living room. She knew that she had to prepare breakfast for 4 people today. Because Jingyan was afraid that fifth aunt would see him, he carried the sleeping Sheng Minglan to the guest room. Soon, Sheng Xiao and Mu Qiqi got up, and Jingyan helped fifth aunt to prepare breakfast. Fourth sister, are you not going to the engagement ceremony today? Mu Qiqi asked Jingyan when she saw that Sheng Minglan had not gotten up. Why not? Of course I'm going. Sheng Xiao smiled. How can I miss such a good show? I'll call her. Jingyan put down the cutlery and said quickly. At the same time, in the Sheng family, Sheng Minglan's belongings had been sent to Sheng Minghui's room. Both of them had similar figures, so there was no problem with the dress. Even the ceremony was the same. The only thing that made people uncomfortable was the name on the invitation. Some people in the Sheng family only got the news on the second day. The bride had been changed just like that. Seventh sister's parents could not control their daughter at all, because Grandpa Sheng had been taking care of her. They found it ridiculous that something like this happened, but they could not do anything about it. Xiao Qin, you are still in charge of the engagement ceremony today. Don't make any trouble. Grandpa Sheng had woken up early in the morning and was getting dressed up. Mama Sheng was not willing to take over this responsibility. Seventh sister had gotten what she wanted. But what about fourth sister? I know you feel sorry for fourth sister, but since it has happened, we can only think of a way to make up for it. Fourth sister will not be at the engagement ceremony today, will she? Mama Sheng was worried about Sheng Minglan's mood. Who could accept her fiancé being snatched away by her sister? She should be with your baby son. Instead of worrying about fourth sister, you should worry about eighth sister. Will he make trouble at the engagement ceremony? Sheng Xiao make trouble? It was impossible. To ensure that nothing bad would happen at the ceremony, Mama Sheng called Sheng Xiao in advance. No matter what he was going to do, as a mother, she had to be mentally prepared. But when Sheng Xiao heard Mama Sheng's worry, he laughed out loud. Mom, you're thinking too much. I won't do anything. After all, the guests here are not blind. It's enough for seventh sister to worry about. Why should I do anything unnecessary? Is fourth sister in a good mood? It doesn't matter whether it's good or bad. Sheng Xiao answered ambiguously. Then you should send someone to take good care of her today, so that she won't be sad. Sheng Xiao raised his eyebrows. Did his mother think that Sheng Minglan would not attend the ceremony? Moreover, Sheng Minglan did not need anyone to take care of her. After getting rid of Grandpa Sheng's control, she had a new life. She was in a good mood. Sad? Forget about it. But Sheng Xiao did not tell Mama Sheng about this. He was waiting for Sheng Minglan to show up and surprise everyone. Thinking of this, Sheng Xiao's smile brightened. Because there would be a good show today. Because of this, he had to remind Mu Qiqi. Hurry up and pack up. We are going to leave now. Your grandpa will attend the ceremony today. Don't you miss him? Of course I miss him. Mu Qiqi had already changed into a silver A-line dress from Chanel's Haute Couture collection. There was a black satin ribbon tied into a bow around her waist. Mu Qiqi looked especially ethereal when she wore it. Sheng Xiao draped a warm coat over her, and she looked even more delicate and lovely. Where are fourth sister and the others? They will leave a little later. Sheng Xiao smiled playfully. He let the little one hold his arm, and they walked out of Jingting together. Chapter 294. In fact, the guests who had arrived early had already raised their questions. It was Sheng Minglan on the invitation card. How did the bride become Sheng Minghui? Especially the poster at the entrance of the hotel. It was obviously photoshopped. It was so fake. What's going on? Is the Sheng family messing with us? The bride-to-be was Sheng Minglan yesterday. How did she become Sheng Minghui all of a sudden? Well, the guests had their questions, but they could not ask Grandpa Sheng alone. Sheng Zhao's engagement was already a good show. Could it be that the Sheng family's wedding this time would be even more exciting? Everyone had questions, or rather, it should be said that the guests all had questions. They really wanted to know why the bride had changed overnight. They just wanted to see if the old man would come out to explain. At 10 o'clock in the morning, Sheng Xiao and Mu Qiqi arrived at the venue. It was different from their engagement ceremony. This time, Grandpa Sheng was trying his best to make it grand. So, it was even more extravagant than the ceremony on the lawn. Although the ceremony was held indoors, the hall that could accommodate 1,000 people was decorated like a vast starry sky. It was indeed stunning. Grandpa Sheng did not expect Sheng Xiao to entertain the guests. But he still asked him, "How is your fourth sister now? Since you have hurt her, why do you ask?" Sheng Xiao would not give him an answer so easily. Seventh sister did go overboard in this matter. But no matter what, I have to wait until the engagement ceremony is over before I settle the score with her. You don't have to look at me like that. I will not do anything out of line today. Sheng Xiao knew that Grandpa Sheng was afraid that he would stand up for Sheng Minglan. But fourth sister would come today, so he would not be needed. Where is Qiqi? She is with Grandpa Shen. Let her entertain her. Grandpa Sheng snorted. Then he stopped holding Sheng Xiao. On the other hand, Mu Qiqi was sitting beside Grandpa Shen. She was happy when she saw Grandpa and second aunt's family. I haven't seen you for a while. How is everyone? Where is Dad? Your father is recovering now. He has improved a lot. Grandpa Shen said happily. But little Seven, didn't you say that fourth sister is getting engaged today? How did she become seventh brother? Huang Yu couldn't help but start gossiping. How did the bride change overnight? Second aunt, it's a long story. Mu Qiqi explained to Huang Yu softly. This incident happened last night. Huang Yu listened to the gossip and suddenly understood. She was angry too. This Sheng Minghui is so shameless. She snatched someone else's fiancé the night before the engagement. No wonder Grandpa Sheng's face is so ugly today. Sure, we can talk about this in private. Of course. If I tell others, wouldn't I be giving you trouble? Now, Huang Yu could understand the ways of the world. She knew that it would be difficult to deal with Mu Qiqi in her in-laws' home. Anyway, let's just wait and watch the show today. At 11 o'clock in the morning, a pair of newlyweds appeared in the venue of the engagement banquet. When the guests saw that the bride-to-be was really seventh sister and not fourth sister, they were immediately shocked. Old Sheng began to explain to the guests. I'm really sorry. Someone made a mistake in the name on the invitation. I asked fourth sister to help me prepare for the ceremony. But someone messed it up. When the invitation was sent out, I only realized that I've made a mistake. I'm really sorry for embarrassing myself. Since it was a mistake, why didn't Sheng Minglan appear? After listening to the explanation, the guests reluctantly accepted it. Which company did this? Old Sheng, you have to find trouble with them. That's right. It's not a mistake at all. It's just a last-minute change. My good friend told me that Sheng Minglan was the one who went to make the gown. Even if she was helping to organize the engagement ceremony, she didn't have to help to try on the gown, did she? Someone continued to whisper. Sai, can you ask your friend to find out more about the inside story? It's not easy to find out about other people's private affairs. But I can guarantee that there's something fishy going on. Otherwise, why didn't Sheng Minglan appear? Maybe the younger sister stole the older sister's fiancé. The two young ladies stood aside and gossiped. But Sheng Minghui, who was not far away, heard it. With her temper, how could she tolerate it? She walked up to them and said, What were you talking about just now? Do I need to steal someone else's fiancé with my status? This engagement was mine from the beginning. Fourth sister was just helping me. Why are you being so fierce? The two young guests were not ordinary people. Everyone is talking about you behind your back. It's not just the two of us. What kind of family is the Sheng family? How could they make a mistake with the invitation? Don't tease me. You're the one who deceived yourself. Isn't it obvious? Isn't it because you stole someone else's fiancé during the engagement ceremony? Then you've really misunderstood. Sheng Minghui wanted them to stop talking. She whispered to them, "Why can't it be my fourth sister who did something wrong? It's only natural that outsiders don't know about the unsightly things. If not, why would the bride be changed so easily?" The two young ladies were shocked when they heard that. How would they know that Sheng Minghui was so despicable? Not only did she steal someone else's fiancé, she even made a false accusation under such circumstances. Soon, the news of Sheng Minglan's indecent lifestyle spread among the guests. Everyone seemed to understand that the reason for the sudden change of bride was not necessarily because of Sheng Minghui. It could also be because of Sheng Minglan. Finally, the gossip behind Sheng Minghui's back lessened a little, because everyone was targeting Sheng Minglan. Seeing that everyone had misunderstood Sheng Minglan, Sheng Minghui did not care. Today was her big day. So what if she let fourth sister take the blame? However, when the Shen family heard about it, especially Huang Yu, her face turned pale. "I'm convinced. Seventh sister is really good at making things up." Suddenly, Mu Qiqi looked at Sheng Xiao seriously. "This trash. She's still slandering fourth sister. She's really not afraid of making things worse." "Then let's make it worse." Sheng Xiao looked like he was watching a drama. But the Sheng family's reputation. What reputation do we have if she did such a shameful thing? Sheng Xiao did not care about that. Since Sheng Minghui did it, she must pay the price. Who would want to take advantage of such a good thing? "Let's wait for fourth sister to come." Mu Qiqi held Sheng Xiao's hand and said, "Gossip is a fearful thing. Their saliva could drown fourth sister. Seventh sister is really ruthless. She did not even give fourth sister a chance to live. Does Grandpa Shen know about it? Look at him. I think he doesn't know about it." Sheng Xiao pointed his chin at Grandpa Shen, who was still welcoming the guests. "When will fourth sister come?" Chapter 295. Sheng Minglan would arrive eventually, but she would arrive just before the engagement ceremony. After Sheng Minghui spread the rumors about Sheng Minglan, she felt more confident standing beside Will. After all, she would feel guilty when people were gossiping about her behind her back. Soon, the rumor reached Grandpa Sheng's ears. His face changed when he heard about it. He glared at Sheng Minghui fiercely. If there were not so many guests, he would have turned around and left right away. Sheng Minghui had snatched fourth sister's fiancé. He thought that she would feel guilty and be more respectful to fourth sister in the future. But he did not expect that she would treat her own sister like this. "Grandpa, what's wrong?" Sheng Minghui asked Grandpa Sheng casually when she saw his expression change. Grandpa Sheng did not say anything. He turned around and went to the guest area. Because Sheng Minghui had predicted that Grandpa Sheng would not fall out with her on the spot. And when the ceremony was over, she would find an excuse to cover it up. She knew very well where Grandpa Sheng's weakness was. She was bullying Sheng Minghui because she would not come today. And no one could speak for Sheng Minglan. How could she explain in such an occasion? But just when Sheng Minghui was secretly delighted, she saw Sheng Minglan appearing at the entrance of the hotel. She was wearing a long black dress. Sheng Minglan seemed to have done it on purpose. She was wearing a white dress, while Sheng Minglan was wearing a long black dress. She was not as gentle as she used to be. She had changed her aura. Sheng Minglan did not look like the obedient fourth sister in the Sheng family. Now, Sheng Minglan and Sheng Minghui looked like an angel and a demon in real life. "Fourth sister is here." Mu Qiqi was surprised by Sheng Minglan's queen aura when she saw her. She was wearing a long black dress and had a bright red lipstick. She looked very powerful. And the guests did not know how the show would turn out when they saw Sheng Minglan. The wound on Sheng Minglan's wrist was still very obvious. Although she had wrapped it with black gauze, the cut could still be seen. Wouldn't it be more interesting? Sheng Minghui had never thought that Sheng Minglan could be so magnanimous. She dared to come to the engagement ceremony. Will and old Sheng were equally stunned when they saw Sheng Minglan. Then, Mama Sheng walked to Sheng Minglan and pulled her aside. "Minglan, you." "And I'm fine," Sheng Minglan said to her casually. Since it's a big matter for the Sheng family, how can I not be there? But, now, the whole hall was talking about Sheng Minglan's private life, and her engagement was broken off. It would have been fine if she was not here, and could not hear it. But now that she was here, those rumors would definitely reach her ears. Wouldn't that hurt her even more? Fourth bro, actually everyone understands. You don't have to come all the way here. Aunt, I'm not as weak as you think. After Sheng Minglan told Mama Sheng, she walked up to Grandpa Sheng, and Sheng Minghui as if nothing had happened. Congratulations, seventh sister. Sheng Minghui's palms were sweating. After all, she had dared to spread the rumor, because Sheng Minglan was not around. But now, Sheng Minglan was right in front of her. Thank you, fourth sister. Sheng Minghui's face looked terrible. Fourth sister, you can rest at home. Grandpa won't force you to attend. Since it's seventh sister's engagement ceremony, wouldn't it be more convincing for me as her sister, to help her explain that the invitation was printed with the wrong name? But now it was no longer about the invitation. Grandpa Sheng's face looked terrible too. The engagement ceremony is about to start. We'll talk later. You go and look for Sheng Xiao. Grandpa Sheng did not let her entertain the guests, but asked her to look for Sheng Xiao? What kind of logic was that? Sheng Minglan glanced at Sheng Minghui and nodded. Okay, I'll go now. In fact, Sheng Minglan was very nervous throughout the whole process. She was afraid that Sheng Minglan would find out about her spreading the rumor. At that moment, there was only one thought in her mind. And that was for the engagement ceremony to start as soon as possible. Sheng Minglan walked up to Sheng Minglan and asked her in confusion. What's wrong, seventh sister? You look like a mouse seeing a cat. Of course, you did something shameful again. Sheng Xiao answered for Sheng Qiqi slowly. What do you mean? The guests suspect that she stole your fiancé. But she said that you have a bad sex life in order to clear her name. So the engagement was cancelled. Mu Qiqi explained to Sheng Xiao. Now, all the guests think that you were caught in the act by that Englishman. So the engagement was cancelled. Sheng Minglan smiled when she heard what Mu Qiqi said. No wonder she was sweating when she looked at me just now. No wonder Grandpa asked me to come to you instead of greeting the guests. Fourth sister, what are you going to do? It's true that it's her engagement ceremony today. But I'm not that magnanimous to put up with her groundless slander. Just wait and see. Sheng Minglan did not show her anger immediately. She did not tell Mu Qiqi and the others what she was going to do. Sometimes when people were extremely angry, they would think of 1,000 ways to take revenge. And now, she was thinking about what kind of price she should make seventh sister pay. Before the engagement ceremony started, Grandpa Sheng arranged for the guests to enter the hall. Then he pulled Sheng Minglan aside and said, Fourth sister. What do you want to say, Grandpa? Are you asking me to put up with it for the sake of the big picture? Sheng Minglan asked. Grandpa Sheng took a deep breath and said helplessly, just put up with it until tonight. Sheng Minglan did not say anything. She walked past Grandpa Sheng and waited until their backs were against each other. Then she said, Grandpa, this is the second time you choose to sacrifice me. Minglan, do you think I will believe you? Grandpa Sheng was stunned, but when he turned around, Sheng Minglan had already disappeared from his sight. Grandpa Sheng felt very sad. He felt that he owed fourth sister a lot. More importantly, he did not know what fourth sister was going to do next. So he could only be on high alert. Even if this matter was exposed in the end, it was Sheng Minglan's fault. Since she had gotten the sweetness, she should know when to stop. But unexpectedly, she dared to challenge Sheng Minglan's bottom line again and again. It seemed that today's engagement ceremony would not be easy. Chapter 296. The security guard was stunned. If he had known that he would have locked her up, wouldn't it have been better to trap her at home? Perhaps none of them expected that Sheng Minglan would really show up. Grandpa, the engagement ceremony is about to begin. Fourth sister, do you know what you have done? Grandpa Sheng glared at Sheng Minghui. I really didn't know that you could be so cruel. Your sister's fiancé was stolen by you. And what about you? You are spreading rumors about her everywhere. I had no choice. Sheng Minghui quickly admitted defeat. Grandpa, look, it's my big day today. But all the guests are talking about me. I just wanted to divert their attention. And I didn't say anything bad about fourth sister. Before the ceremony began, they were talking in the bride-to-be's lounge. You know that gossip is a fearful thing. Even a white lie might be turned into a black one. Didn't you do it on purpose? Grandpa, even if you want to punish me, can you wait until after the ceremony is over? And when the ceremony was over, she would use her pregnancy as an excuse to avoid physical punishment from Grandpa Sheng. She would only be lectured verbally. She had heard it since she was young, so there was nothing to be afraid of. Grandpa Sheng didn't say anything else. He walked out of the lounge. But Sheng Minglan came in. When their eyes met, Sheng Minghui felt a little awkward. Fourth sister, why aren't you here? Don't you know very well why I'm here? Sheng Minglan asked Sheng Minghui calmly. Fourth sister, I don't understand what you mean. If I didn't come today, were you going to let me take the blame for this? Sheng Minglan continued to ask Sheng Minghui. How about this? I won't ask for too much. After the engagement ceremony is over, you can clarify this matter, and I won't pursue it anymore. Otherwise, I don't know what I will do. Fourth sister, please forgive me this time. I really didn't do it on purpose. Don't try to trick me. I've been tricked by you too many times. Sheng Minglan was unmoved. You have two choices. Either you clarify it, or none of us will have a good time. Sheng Minghui was afraid. She could only calm Sheng Minglan down. Fourth sister, don't be so agitated. I understand what you mean. I promise you. But the ceremony is about to start. I'll go there first. Having said that, Sheng Minghui picked up her gown and walked out of the lounge. At the same time, she closed the door behind her. After that, she had someone guard the lounge to prevent Sheng Minglan from coming out. In fact, it was Grandpa Sheng's idea. But would it be better to just close her off? It wasn't like she didn't bring her phone with her. It's not like this is some sealed space. Everything can be settled with just a call from Jing Yun, isn't it? Meanwhile, in the banquet hall, the engagement ceremony was about to begin. Mu Qiqi was a little worried when she saw that Sheng Minglan had gone to the washroom for a long time. But Sheng Xiao held her down. Jing Yun is protecting fourth sister. What does that have to do with you? I'm just worried that seventh sister will find a way to trap fourth sister. If you could think of that, why wouldn't fourth sister? Sheng Xiao retorted. Mu Qiqi glared at him and pinched his palm. Is it fun to tease me? On the stage, the MC was already in position, and the newlyweds walked to the center of the stage. All the lights in the hall shone on the newlyweds. When the MC was about to read the vows, a black figure appeared in the long aisle. All the guests saw her walking straight to the newlyweds. Then, she grabbed Sheng Minghui with one hand and gave her a loud slap with the other. All the guests were stunned. Meanwhile, old Sheng shuddered all over. What was meant to come would come. You shameless thing. Not only did you steal my fiancé on the night before the engagement, you even shamelessly spread rumors that I'm a promiscuous person. Don't think that I have to give in to you just because you are my sister. Everyone was stunned, especially Sheng Minghui herself. She quickly looked at Grandpa Sheng, who was sitting at the guest table. Her expression was pleading for help. Grandpa Sheng wanted to look at the big picture. He stood up. But when he opened his mouth, Sheng Minglan interrupted him. She stole my fiancé last night. Grandpa, you are biased towards her. Fine. I don't want this engagement anymore. Today, I came to the hall and found out that this bitch spread rumors about me. But you are still biased towards her. Do you want me to let her go this time? But she locked me in the lounge, so that I wouldn't stop her from getting engaged. I'm not human if I keep tolerating her. Sheng Minghui, I don't have to give in to you every time. Not today, not in the future. I'll give this scumbag to you. You don't have to thank me, but you stole him from me. You better get this straight. If there's a next time, and you use me as your scapegoat, I'll still do what I did today and ruin your reputation. With those words, Sheng Minglan looked at Grandpa Sheng. It doesn't matter if you acknowledge me as your granddaughter, because in my heart, you're already dead. And with that series of face-slapping moves, Sheng Minglan walked down the stage in front of all the guests. She held her head high and puffed out her chest. Her aura was so powerful that the guests had their fill of a good show. What did her actions mean? Nothing else. She was no longer a member of the Sheng family. Because of Grandpa Sheng's coercion, She had no choice but to stay in the Sheng family. That was why she simply gave up everything and did not care about anything. It was a life and death struggle for both sides. Grandpa Sheng was powerless to change anything, because he had hurt Sheng Minglan too much. He knew very well that this granddaughter of his really hated the Sheng family. She was no longer willing to consider herself a member of the Sheng family, or his granddaughter. Hence the scene suddenly froze. Sheng Xiao, however, was clapping. The guests followed suit. Of course, their applause was not for Sheng Minghui, but for Sheng Minglan. Chairman Sheng, do you want to continue? The MC asked Grandpa Sheng after a long pause. Grandpa Sheng was strong enough. He simply waved his hand as if nothing had happened. Let's continue. However, everyone now knew how the newlyweds on the stage had betrayed their sister, and even rubbed salt into her wound. Blessing her? Was Sheng Minghui worthy? She was such a despicable woman. She had stolen someone else's fiancé. She should have some self-awareness. She even tried to shift the blame to someone else at the engagement party. How shameful was she? Chapter 297. After the ceremony, Grandpa Sheng immediately called the butler of the Sheng family and got an answer from him. Miss Minglan has moved out. I couldn't stop her no matter what. I understand. Grandpa Sheng took a deep breath. He had to admit that he was worried enough about his grandchildren. But how could he not worry? Did Sheng Xiao ever think about the future of Huang Yao when he brought Mu Qiqi back, who was useless to him? And now that the scandal of the Sheng family was out, there was no telling how long people would laugh at them. So, was Sheng Minghui really happy after she got engaged to the Englishman? She would probably find a hole to hide in after the ceremony and never come out again. But she still had to face the guests. After entering the lounge, she cried even more miserably. Grandpa, how could fourth sister treat me like that in front of everyone? She treated you the same way you treated her. Moreover, you should be satisfied that fourth sister has moved out of the Sheng family. Grandpa Sheng was so angry that his chest hurt. Sheng Minghui stopped crying when she heard that. Wasn't it a good thing that Sheng Minglan moved out? She was the only granddaughter in the Sheng family now. Wouldn't Grandpa Sheng love her even more? And if Sheng Minglan left the Sheng family, it meant that she was no longer the young lady of the Sheng family. She had given up on the protection of the Sheng family. Was that what he meant? Don't ever come back if you can. After arguing with Grandpa Sheng, Sheng Minghui returned to the banquet hall. But when she saw the mocking looks from the guests, she felt terrible all over. She really stole sister's fiancé and slandered her sister for having a bad lifestyle. How could there be such a bitch in the Sheng family? Isn't that right? If I were her, I would have killed myself on the spot to get back some dignity. I really didn't expect that she still has the face to get engaged to the Englishman. She's the most shameless person in Jianchuan. The guests were mocking her everywhere in the washroom. But what could Sheng Minghui do? She never thought that Sheng Minglan could be so ruthless. She was bitterly disappointed. Finally, I see seventh sister getting hurt. Fourth sister was so cool just now. Mu Qiqi had a private discussion with Sheng Xiao after lunch. Shouldn't we retire after we've succeeded? Go and tell Grandpa that we are going to celebrate the establishment of fourth sister's new company. Fourth sister's new company is being established today too? Mu Qiqi covered her mouth in surprise. Then let's hurry. With that, Mu Qiqi pulled Sheng Xiao to old Sheng. Sheng Minghui was there too. It's about time we should go. Sheng Xiao, you must have laughed at me behind my back. Seventh sister said sourly. Especially Qiqi. You are so happy. Don't try to shift your hatred to someone else. You should be thankful that I didn't do anything today. If I had interfered, don't you know what would have happened to you? Sheng Xiao mocked Sheng Minghui, ignoring the fact that she had hurt Mu Qiqi. Sheng Minghui said nothing. All right, that's enough, Grandpa Sheng said to Sheng Xiao. Let's go back. There's no point in staying here anyway. Grandpa. Sheng Xiao smiled and led Mu Qiqi out of the hotel. But Sheng Minghui did not stop complaining. Grandpa, fourth sister has always been gentle. Don't you think it's strange that she suddenly exploded? It's all because of you. Just stop. Don't cause trouble for Mu Qiqi before the VVIP night. I don't need you to attract hatred for me anymore. Yes, Grandpa. Sheng Minghui said angrily. Everything depended on the VVIP night of Huang Yao. Although she had been trampled on by Sheng Minglan today, she would make Sheng Minglan regret it one day. On the other hand, Sheng Minglan had officially moved out of the Sheng family and announced the establishment of a new company. And now, she was at the entrance of the new company, holding a ribbon-cutting ceremony with the other shareholders. It was not a big deal to leave the Sheng family, because from today onwards, she would rely on herself. As for the old man, he wouldn't dare to come over and obstruct them openly. She had to admit that she had purposely blown things up today. She wanted everyone to know that Grandpa Sheng owed her. And because of that, Grandpa Sheng did not dare to interfere too much with her decision. Soon, Sheng Xiao and the other two arrived at Sheng Minglan's important moment. But they did not approach her and watched from afar. It was only when the event was over that Mu Qiqi greeted Sheng Minglan. Fourth sister, why are you so late? We have been watching from the side. Sheng Xiao raised a brow at her. You left just now and missed everyone's applause. I think I should make it up to you now. Sheng Minglan laughed and punched Sheng Xiao's chest. Don't make fun of me. Sheng Xiao smiled and approached Sheng Minglan. He whispered into her ear so that Jing Yin could not hear. To celebrate the establishment of your new company, I have a gift for you. What is it? Didn't you want to know who that Zhao Lin is before? She's right beside me. Sheng Xiao did not put it bluntly, but Sheng Minglan understood. What Sheng Xiao meant was that the owner of the gold card was Jing Yin. What do you think? Do you like this gift? Since you've given me one, you wouldn't mind if I ask for another one, would you? Sheng Minglan was being generous now. My new company has just been established, and I lack an experienced assistant. If you really want to give me a gift, I want Jing Yin. Jing Yin, who was standing beside them, was stunned. Sheng Xiao, however, appeared prepared. Well, it depends on whether you have the ability to make Jing Yin agree. Just wait and see. Mu Qiqi watched as the siblings chatted and laughed, and suddenly felt that Sheng Minglan's brilliance as the CEO could not be concealed. Sheng Minglan's aura had also changed from the tactful and forbearing Sheng Minglan to a domineering woman with an indestructible body. You can start hooking up right now. With those words, Sheng Minglan turned with Mu Qiqi and told Jing Yin, You stay. Jing Yin was speechless. Xiao Qi's Huang Yao VVIP night. Just let me know if you need anything. Sheng Minglan shouted at their backs. But Sheng Xiao waved her off, gesturing that she did not need any help. Jing Yin was left to face Sheng Minglan alone. Miss Minglan. Chapter 298. Looking at Sheng Minglan's smile, Jing Yin knew that it was a poison that looked like a candy. So he replied, You've gained your freedom after much difficulty. It's not worth it if you lose it because of me. The company has just started. I do need a helper by my side. Sheng Minglan knew that Jing Yin was a very serious person. Once he teased someone, he would become serious. It was really frustrating. So, she changed her tone to a businesslike one. There are many talents in the world. Miss Minglan would definitely be able to find someone capable. Then should I find a man? To be with me day and night? Jing Yin was speechless. It's fine if he's a good person. But, what if it's someone like Will? Or even Lung Feng? Sheng Minglan made Jing Yin speechless. He could only admit defeat. Now that Sheng Minglan was not with the Sheng family, she could not get the direct protection of Huang Yao. I'll help you for 2 months. I'll leave after you've mastered everything. All right. Sheng Minglan flashed a victorious smile. Although she knew that it was too much to test Jing Yin step by step. Jing Yin was a man who had no other tricks up his sleeves. He was just that restrained, stubborn, and loyal. Sheng Minglan suddenly felt the urge to cry when she thought of the money in the gold card. It was probably all Jing Yin's savings in his life, not for anything else. He had already handed over his wife's account. But he still had no intention of dating. Jing Yin was probably the dumbest person in the world. On the other hand, Sheng Minghui's engagement ceremony ended hastily after a grand ceremony. After all, Grandpa Sheng did not want to stay in the hotel and be criticized by others. Moreover, he had yet to settle the score with Sheng Minghui. So, when Sheng Minghui stepped through the front door of the Sheng family, she was met with Grandpa Sheng's punishment. Sheng Minghui was taken aback. She glanced at her fiancé. Help me. Oh, Grandpa, don't do that. Will quickly stood in front of Sheng Minghui. Get out of my way, Grandpa Sheng said directly to Will. This is an internal affair of the Sheng family. You are not a true member of the Sheng family yet. Just watch from the side. Helpless, Will dodged aside, while Grandpa Sheng walked up to Sheng Minghui and slapped her. You've stolen your fourth sister's fiancé, slandered her and forced her to leave, shaming the Sheng family. Do you think I won't settle this score with you? Sheng Minghui's eyes widened. Grandpa, Sheng Minghui wanted to resist, but she did not have the guts. Do you still want to quibble? With that, the old man hit him with the rod again. Grandpa, what if I get pregnant soon? Aren't you afraid of injuring my body by hitting me like this? When the old man heard this, he hit her again. I know very well where I hit. I can't hurt your stomach. When Sheng Minghui saw that her attack was useless, she knelt on the ground. You can kill me for someone who has left the family. Grandpa Sheng got even angrier after hearing that. He attacked even more fiercely. I really want to kill you. Don't think that I won't dare to do anything to you. I've spoiled you too much. That's why you're so arrogant. How dare you sacrifice your own sister? Go kneel in the Sheng family's ancestral hall for 3 days. Otherwise, get out of the Sheng family. Grandpa, there is no room for negotiation. Kneel or get out. Sheng Minghui was resentful, but she did not dare to disobey or resist. The skin on her back was torn. But Grandpa Sheng did not send anyone to get her a doctor. He did not allow anyone to touch her these days. Compared to Sheng Minghui's sadness, Sheng Minghui's pain was nothing. Unfortunately, Sheng Minghui might not want to return to the Sheng family for the rest of her life. On the other hand, although Sheng Minghui was kneeling in the ancestral hall, Will secretly went to see her. He even brought her food. How dare the old man treat me like this? I am his granddaughter. It's fine if he is biased towards fourth sister. We can still fight. Look, no matter how forgiving Grandpa Sheng was toward her, as long as he sided with Sheng Minglan once, Sheng Minghui would lose her balance and become unreasonable. Mama Sheng told Sheng Xiao about seventh sister's punishment of kneeling in the ancestral hall the next day, but Sheng Xiao only sneered after he heard about it. Now that seventh sister has Will, she would only be more unbridled in the Sheng family. The old man had only punished fourth sister to kneel in the ancestral hall after she was hurt so badly. If seventh sister has a son or daughter, no one would have a good life in the future. Yes, your grandfather always seems biased towards you, but the truth is, he just wants to control you the most. He never cares about your feelings. You still know. Sheng Xiao smiled. Eighth brother, I know that your grandfather has caused your fourth sister to be in this state. If you and Mu Qiqi are to get married in the future, it will not be easy. However, I will always be on your side. No matter what your grandfather wants to do, I will do my best to protect Mu Qiqi. Mom, remember what you said today. If something happens to us, you must protect Qi'er first. Mama Sheng nodded solemnly. She knew what Mu Qiqi meant to Sheng Xiao. She was half his life. How's the preparation for Xiao Qi's VVIP night? Let's wait for 2 more days. When Qi'er has confirmed something, let the planning department have a meeting with her. She will need to use some resources. Okay, I will arrange it, Mama Sheng said and left her son's office. Of course, she had to wait outside during the meeting. Otherwise, the planning department would bully her little wife, because she was only 18 years old. Since she had promised her son, she would do her best to fulfill it. As a mother, she only wanted her son to be happy at this age. Nothing else mattered. Sheng Minghui knelt in the ancestral hall for 3 whole days. On the day she came out of the hall, she heard that Mu Qiqi was going to have a meeting with the planning department of Huang Yao. I really don't know what grandfather is thinking, handing such an important matter to a girl. Isn't he afraid that the VVIP night of Huang Yao will be turned into a child's play? What was even more ridiculous was that she wanted to take Mu Qiqi's credit. If Mu Qiqi did not have Sheng Xiao by her side, she would be nothing. Huang Yao would only be her dream in her next life. Since you are out, you better behave yourself. Grandpa Sheng warned Sheng Minghui. Grandfather, I heard that Mu Qiqi is going to Huang Yao for a meeting. Chapter 299. What was Mu Chichi waiting for? She wanted to make sure that eldest Lu could find the whereabouts of the jewelry, and was confident enough to get it. After getting the answer, Mu Chichi took a day off from school, and went to Huang Yao for a meeting. She was a little nervous when she thought about it. After all, it was the place where Xiao Xiao had been fighting. Now that she was going there, it was a strange feeling. The meeting starts at 9 o'clock. Mom's secretary will be your assistant. She will help you print out the documents and coordinate. Mom will be there too. Mom will be at the door. She is afraid that you will be nervous. But she is more afraid that you will be bullied. Sheng Xiao adjusted the collar of Mu Chichi's coat. Then he hugged her and kissed her on the forehead. You can take charge without me, right? Of course. Mu Chichi smiled and waved the documents in her hand. Sheng Xiao did not read the proposal because he trusted his little one. Then they got into the car and went to Huang Yao. When they arrived at Huang Yao, Sheng Xiao held Mu Chichi's hand as they walked through the door. The employees of Huang Yao were overjoyed when they saw the legendary bride. All these years, everyone had been guessing what kind of woman could win the crown prince's heart. They had guessed all kinds of women, but they did not expect it to be a 19-year-old girl. In Huang Yao, some of the talented women were upset when they found out that they had lost to a little girl. Moreover, not only did she win their idol, she even came to the company for a meeting, because she was the planner of Huang Yao's latest VVIP event. What a fantasy world! Everyone watched as Sheng Xiao led Mu Chichi to the meeting room and sent her to the door. When Mama Sheng's secretary saw Sheng Xiao and Mu Chichi, she went up to them and greeted them respectfully. Crown Prince, young madam, I will leave her to you. Sheng Xiao kissed Mu Chichi's forehead and left the meeting room. Young madam, the planning department is on standby. Do you have any documents that you need me to prepare for you? Please make copies of these for me. Mu Chichi handed the documents to the secretary. Since she was Mama Sheng's secretary, she naturally trusted her. About 2 minutes later, the secretary returned to Mu Chichi with the documents and said, It's almost time. Let's go in. How many people are there in the planning department? About 15. 15 people. And not one of them can come up with an outstanding proposal? The secretary smiled and pushed the door open for Mu Chichi. Mu Chichi walked in and saw a group of lifeless employees. This was the current planning department of Huang Yao. There was no vitality at all. Among them, there were 4 old employees, all male for female, and the rest were all young men. Mu Chichi could see from their eyes that they did not trust her at all. Of course, she was young and a layman. How could she shoulder such a heavy responsibility? However, Mu Chichi did not mind their amused gazes, and simply had her secretary pass down the copied documents. But this kind of untidy plan really made people have no desire to open it. But Mu Chichi was not in a hurry. She walked to the main seat and greeted everyone. Hello everyone. I am Mu Chichi, the planner of Huang Yao's VVIP night. I hope that you can take care of me in the next 10 days. Then, there was a soft round of applause. Now, here is the content of the event that I am going to talk about. Please take a look at it. Miss Mu, there is no way to read such a plan. One of the old employees started to pick holes in the plan. This is not done by a professional. You can't let us get the key information in a simple way. I am very worried about this event. Aren't you still worried without me? Mu Chichi was not afraid of the old man taking advantage of his seniority. You said that there is no way to read this plan? Have you opened it? What is written on the first page? The old man did not expect such a sharp response from Mu Chichi. He was stunned. Let's do it this way. I know that at this moment, it is indeed a bit difficult for all of you who have worked for a few years, or even decades, to listen to a little girl like me talk about planning. Close all the plans, and let's get to know each other first. The secretary was worried for Mu Chichi. She knew that although the people in the planning department could not come up with a plan, they were still old foxes. They looked down on others just because of their seniority. What's more, Mu Chichi was an outsider. Miss Mu, forgive me for being blunt. You are a forensic student. Do you even know what a plan is? If you know about planning, haven't Huang Yao been stagnant for so many years? Mu Chichi retorted. The purpose of Huang Yao's VVIP night is to repay the distinguished guests who have taken good care of Huang Yao over the past year. It is also to promote the event and warm up for the next event. Not only do we have to make the old customers feel that they are still respected, but we also have to make the new guests feel that Huang Yao's service is as good as diamonds. Which one of these have you achieved? I have read the briefings of your department for the past 3 years. Is your brain empty? You have no idea at all. You are just following the tradition. While you are doubting me, think about what you have done in your position. Mu Qiqi's words hit the nail on the head. The old man was speechless and could only shut up. Why does Grandpa want to use a newbie like me this time? It is simple. He feels that there is no need to keep the planning department. Everyone has been racking their brains to keep their jobs. But year after year, you have been doing it half-heartedly. Do you really think that Grandpa is a fool? So he asked me, a newbie, to give you a reminder. If you continue like this, will you believe it? Next year, the people sitting here for the meeting will not have me, and neither will you. After hearing Mu Qiqi's words, everyone began to feel fearful. So it's up to you whether or not you want to cooperate with me. If you're willing to cooperate, I'll take full responsibility if anything goes wrong. But if you don't want to cooperate, then I advise you to apply for resignation after you walk out of here. Otherwise, you'll be fired and lose face. The secretary was standing beside Mu Qiqi. She was completely stunned when she heard what she said. What a beautiful show of kindness and power. She was indeed the crown prince's fiancée. So, what do you choose? The 15 people looked at each other. In the end, they chose to cooperate with Mu Qiqi. Chapter 300. If you had done this earlier, you wouldn't have wasted everyone's time. Mu Qiqi retracted her sharp gaze. Then, everyone started to open the proposal in their hands. At the same time, Mu Qiqi began to explain. In recent years, the most important reason to stop Huang Yao's activities is because of the grudge between the sisters-in-law of the Liu family. As long as they are together, they will definitely make the whole banquet unpleasant. Because they are all distinguished guests of Huang Yao, we can't just invite one of them. It's understandable that you are afraid. But why didn't anyone think of solving this problem? We are just nobodies. How can we have the guts? Some people finally began to express the helplessness in their hearts. Those with power and influence don't even see us as human beings. As long as we make a mistake, we will lose our jobs. Who doesn't have a family waiting to feed? What I'm concerned about is, have you thought of solving it? Mu Qiqi asked again patiently. Everyone looked at each other and shook their heads. All right. Have you finished reading my proposal? Everyone lowered their heads and buried themselves in Mu Qiqi's proposal again. When page after page of activity schedules appeared in front of everyone, almost everyone's eyes had already completed the process of going from being dull to being excited. Wonderful. Really? What a smart idea. Excellent. Everyone began to praise her in unison. Why didn't you think of separating the two of them into 2 different venues? If they don't meet each other, they will naturally not quarrel or cause trouble. In the past, we had to consider the budget and cost. But if we combine the VIPs of Huang Yao with the publicity this time, we can save on the budget. The publicity department will also cooperate, and we will have more resources. Seeing that everyone agreed with her proposal, Mu Qiqi began to explain in detail. Eldest young Master Liu has already agreed to cooperate and found the precious jewelry that was auctioned in Huang Yao, which is equivalent to Huang Yao's classic diamond series. The most popular thing now is retro. I've also seen the latest trend abroad. It's a cycle of 10 years, and it's time for the classic and retro series to make their debut. That's right. On the other hand, Second Madam's focus is on the young range. Let her outshine all the others, and she won't care about quarrels or grudges anymore. I know Second Madam well. She likes new things the most, so she also represents vitality. Letting her try on the new products can satisfy her vanity, and at the same time promote it. As for this side, arrange for people to prepare. There must be something in common between the 2 events. That is, the images of the other party's event will be displayed on the screens. This will give people the illusion that Huang Yao is holding the same event, but in 2 different spaces. Most importantly, The entire event must be kept secret. There is no need to leave the address of the event in the invitation letter, because the people from Huang Yao will personally pick them up. This will prevent the information of the two venues from being leaked, and also ensure that the guests are sent to different venues, especially eldest Madame Liu and youngest Madame Liu. Also, since it is the night of giving back, we must show Huang Yao's sincerity. When the new products are released, we must give the guests the gifts they liked, and be considerate. What about giving discounts? The people in the planning department began to have questions. Rich people don't care about money. If you give them discounts, it will be an insult to them. So improving the quality of service is the key. Mu Qiqi answered directly. Miss Mu is right. I've met a couple of rich ladies who went to buy something. At that time, the item was already sold out. The salesperson told them that they could exchange it for something else, and they would give them discounts. In the end, the rich ladies threw money at them, because they were not short of money. Slowly, everyone's attitude towards this 19-year-old girl began to change. First of all, she would take care of everything. She would first understand the details, and before doing anything, she would be fully prepared. Second of all, she was brave and smart. Moreover, she was bold and sharp. In the end, a 19-year-old girl had won against all of them, who had worked for most of their lives. This made the people in the planning department feel ashamed. On the other hand, Mama Sheng's secretary had not seen the planning department being so energetic for a long time. The meeting lasted for 2 hours, but everyone learned a lot. In the end, Mu Qiqi made arrangements for the people in the planning department, according to what they were good at. She even warned them mischievously. To be honest, Grandpa sent me here because he wants me to embarrass myself with you. If you want to ensure that the event goes smoothly, don't let anyone find out about the plan. We must keep it a secret. If I'm framed, then this event will be very difficult. Don't worry, Miss Mu. Let me ask you one last question. Did the Crown Prince give you these things? Mu Qiqi was about to answer when Sheng Xiao finished his meeting. He came in from the door. In fact, he had been standing at the door for a while. Everyone watched as he walked up to the staff and casually flipped through the proposal. Although I see her tinkering with it every day, this is the first time I've seen the content. Do you think she needs me to teach her? Everyone laughed when they heard that. I'm afraid she doesn't need to. Then why don't you just trust your intuition? Is that enough? I'm going to bring my little one to lunch. Go ahead, Crown Prince. Goodbye, Miss Mu. Everyone closed the document and stood up. Take care of your documents. Everyone keep a low profile. Before Mu Qiqi left, she reminded everyone that she was not guarding against anyone. It was just the scheming old man. Mama Sheng's secretary followed behind them. She admired Mu Qiqi from the bottom of her heart. When they were far away, she returned to Mama Sheng. Madam, are you really not going to consider working in Huangyao? It is my first time seeing the planning department being so active. Moreover, young Madam's way of solving problems is really ingenious. Really? Mama Sheng smiled. Her ingenuity is totally different from the Crown Prince's style. The Crown Prince is cynical, but young Madam is full of energy and initiative. Everything she does is to promote Huangyao. She is really not simple. Mama Sheng was looking forward to how exciting the VVIP night of Huangyao would be after hearing the secretary's praise of Mu Qiqi. The Crown Prince has good taste. I can understand why he likes young Madam so much now. The other departments did not know what Mu Qiqi had said to them in the meeting room. But when they entered the meeting room, the planning department was like a dead fish. But now they came back to life. It was unbelievable. Chapter 301. Grandpa Sheng was waiting for the employees of Huangyao, especially the planning department, to complain about Mu Qiqi. But to his surprise, nothing happened. The planning department even dragged the publicity department into it. Everyone was carrying out the event in an orderly manner. Grandpa Sheng found it unbelievable. So when Mama Sheng got home, he called her into the study and asked, "Is the VVIP event already in preparation?" "Yes, it's going well," Mama Sheng answered. "Mu Qiqi planned it?" "Yes, father." Mama Sheng nodded. Eighth brother must have intervened. Mu Chichi planned it all by herself. Eighth brother did not interfere at all. Mama Sheng answered in a neither servile nor overbearing manner. Didn't you ask Mu Chichi to do this to test her ability? Or is it that you want to see her being ridiculed? What are you talking about? I'm just surprised. Since everything is going well, let's see how the VVIP night turns out. Also, I heard that fourth sister has set up a new company. After hearing that, Mama Sheng looked at Grandpa Sheng seriously and asked sincerely, Father, do you think that fourth sister still cares about the Sheng family? Let's not talk about anything else, but regarding seventh sister's matter, you're too biased towards her. Since you've set fourth sister free, don't meddle in her private affairs anymore. Otherwise, she might really be forced into a corner by you. Fourth sister has always been a good child. What kind of grudge could force her to cut her wrist? Don't you know it in your heart? Grandpa Sheng had nothing to say, because he owed Sheng Minglan too much in this matter. And seventh sister. She is the only granddaughter in the family now. When fourth sister was around, she was spoiled and arrogant. Now that fourth sister is gone, she is even more lawless. Father, I am not afraid of you saying that I am a busybody. If this goes on, seventh sister will get into trouble sooner or later. Grandpa Sheng took a deep breath and nodded. You can leave now. Let me think about it. He must not interfere with Sheng Minglan's matter anymore. Otherwise, as Mama Sheng said, fourth sister might be driven to death. Remembering what seventh brother had been doing recently, old Sheng's heart began to ache again. However, he reaped what he sowed. After Sheng Minglan founded her new company, Jing Yun kept his promise and transferred from Huang Yao to Sheng Minglan's new company. However, everything was still not on track due to the establishment of the new company. That was why Sheng Minglan did not get a chance to talk to him, even though they were in the same office for the first 2 days. Chief Sheng, please sign here. Jing Yun put a pile of documents in front of Sheng Minglan. These are the confirmed partners. I've already signed the contract. Now I'm waiting for you to sign it. It's time to get off work. Let's have a meal together. Sheng Minglan took the documents and said to Jing Yun, I have a dinner party tonight. Are you talking about cooperation as well? Sheng Minglan asked. Jing Yun did not say anything, which meant that he agreed. If that's the case, let's go together. I've been enjoying the fruits of your labor for the past few days. You didn't even give me a chance to do anything. You've done everything and delivered it to me. Are you in such a hurry to get rid of me? Sheng Minglan sounded disappointed. Chief Sheng, every step you take now must be steady, because without the protection of the Sheng family, the outside world will not give you any face. Ahem. Sheng Minglan was about to explain when she inadvertently coughed twice. Jing Yun was taken aback. I'm sorry. I was too impatient. Let's deal with this tomorrow. It's late now. I'll send you home first. I'm just a little tired. Jing Yun stayed up late. She stayed up late too. It was just that Jing Yun did not know. Let's go. Jing Yun did not allow her to resist. He took her coat and dragged her to the parking lot of the company. The chairman should know about the establishment of your new company, but with Madam covering for you, there shouldn't be any threats for the time being. As long as Miss Minglan doesn't come looking for trouble. Sheng Minglan said nothing. She simply sat in the car and soon fell asleep on the seat. Jing Yun saw that she had fallen asleep. He did not wake her up when they reached home. He just stayed by her side without a word. But Sheng Minglan slept until midnight. When she woke up, it was already 1 o'clock in the morning. Sheng Minglan was startled. She looked at Jing Yun. Why didn't you wake me up? I saw that you were sleeping soundly. Let's go back. I've rescheduled the meeting. Sheng Minglan looked out of the car window. It was quiet. Then she looked around. There were no passers-by. So, she turned to Jing Yun and said, although it seems like I'm not being reserved, I still want to do it. With that, Sheng Minglan hugged him. Seeing that Jing Yun was struggling, she threatened him. If you dare to move, I'll kiss you. Jing Yun immediately became obedient. I've been very tired these days, but I'm also very happy. Especially when I see you in front of me. I feel very safe. At that, Jing Yun's hand subconsciously wrapped around Sheng Minglan's waist. Go and rest. Sheng Minglan took a deep breath. Satisfied, she pushed the door open and got out of the car. Bring me along for the next meeting. Jingyan nodded, but his hand was still very unnatural, because there was still Sheng Minglan's warmth and scent on it. With that, Sheng Minglan turned and went upstairs. Jingyan quickly left the apartment. Being with her, it was too dangerous. Really too dangerous. Meanwhile in Jingting, the heated battle had just ended. Sheng Xiao was cleaning up the battlefield. He also cleaned the little woman, who was exhausted from the inside out. He wanted her to be dry and comfortable. Did I not do well? I even had to endure your beating, Mu Chichi complained. You're my woman. Of course, you're doing well. But that doesn't stop me from finding excuses to want you at any time. Sheng Xiao carried her from the bathroom back to the big bed. Little one, when you get more and more attention, I will also become proud. Well, I'll forgive you for the beating tonight since you're praised by the Crown Prince of Huang Yao. Don't act like you're the victim, Sheng Xiao sneered. He sat on the bed and pulled the little one into his arms. Grandpa will definitely make a move during Huang Yao's event. You have to be careful. Do you think I'm still naive? I'm going to believe his nonsense. Mu Chichi drew circles on Sheng Xiao's body. But if the event is a success, you have to promise me one thing. There's no need for the event. I can promise you now. After all, I'm all yours. That's different. That's the fruit of victory. Mu Chichi snorted. Chapter 302. Sheng Minghui soon found out that Sheng Minglan had started a company. Now she had something to do. Sheng Minglan had humiliated her during her engagement ceremony. She did not dare to go out now. No matter what, she had to make Sheng Minglan suffer. Did they think that their business would be so easy after leaving the Sheng family? There was no such thing. So, she sent someone to investigate Sheng Minglan's company and learned that Sheng Minglan was looking for partners everywhere. Grandfather doesn't care about fourth sister now. It's simple. He just has to use her identity as the seventh daughter of the Sheng family to pressure Sheng Minglan's business partner. Everything would be fine since fourth sister is not with the Sheng family now. Grandpa Sheng thought that Sheng Minghui would restrain herself, so he called her to the study. Your fourth sister has set up her own company. If you still have a conscience, don't go there and cause trouble. Grandpa, why are you looking at me like that? I also hope that fourth sister is well. I really couldn't tell. Grandpa Sheng snorted coldly with his hands behind his back. Also, Huang Yao's event is just around the corner. Mu Chichi has already made arrangements with the planning department. Don't go and ruin it. When the time comes, just take over her credit. When the time comes, I will also announce to the public that you are the planner of this event. Eighth brother will definitely make a scene. The Sheng family's business should be taken over by the Sheng family in the first place. Why would he be making a fuss? Old Sheng thought so matter-of-factly. All right, Grandpa, I know what to do. Mu Chichi was just used and bullied. No matter how uncomfortable eighth brother was, he could only go to Grandpa Sheng to cause trouble. He could not blame her. If she guessed correctly, Grandpa wanted her to take over the director position of the planning department after the VVIP night. That would mean that she had officially entered Huang Yao. With Will's help, she thought that everything would be smooth sailing in Huang Yao in the future. In comparison, weren't Sheng Minglan and Mu Chichi too pitiful? However, she could make the two of them even more miserable. At night, Jingyan brought Sheng Minglan to the banquet because it was a chance for Sheng Minglan to grow rapidly. However, when they were on the way to the hotel, they received a call from the other party, saying that they had found another partner, and that they would not be discussing the contract this time. Jingyan parked the car by the side, and immediately called the relevant staff. His subordinates said that this matter was very sudden. When they contacted him in the afternoon, they were still willing to cooperate. Jingyan's face darkened, and Sheng Minglan seemed to have guessed something. I was so anxious to discuss a few more collaborations with you, because I didn't want a situation like today to happen again. It's fine. I know seventh sister won't let it go so easily. I don't have the protection of the Sheng family now, so aren't I at her mercy? I'll tell young master about this. As for the rest, we need to make sure that there are no changes to the other contracts. Sheng Minglan nodded. She was not as angry or discouraged as Jing Yun had imagined. In other words, she had already made up her mind. However, the business partners who were discussing seemed to be deliberately toying with the two of them. At first they agreed, but when it was time to talk about cooperation, they said that they had found another company. This happened 4 times in a row. He had many ways to help Sheng Minglan in business, be it connections or anything else. But if the Sheng family were to suppress him, he would be helpless in that aspect. That was why he had to tell Sheng Xiao about this. Only when Sheng Xiao came forward could seventh sister restrain herself. Of course, Sheng Xiao did not intend to go back to the Sheng family and complain to Grandpa Sheng just like that. He had prepared a few good scenes, even having Sheng Minglan pretend to be hospitalized and sick. After a few nights, Sheng Xiao and Mu Qiqi purposely went back to Sheng Mansion for dinner. Grandpa Sheng appeared to be disgusted, but he did not say anything since he was still using Mu Qiqi. Sheng Xiao, I called Minglan last night. She's in the hospital. What happened? Mama Sheng began her first act. Sheng Xiao leaned back on his chair and did not answer. It was Mu Qiqi who spoke. Mother, fourth sister is sick. What's wrong? The old man was nervous and stood up from the chair. I thought you couldn't wait for her to die. Sheng Xiao snorted coldly. Speak properly, Sheng Xiao. What happened to your fourth sister? Fourth sister has set up her own company. You should have heard about this a long time ago. But you should know what kind of person your seventh sister is. Fourth sister is not in the Sheng family now. And without the protection of the Sheng family, our seventh sister sent someone to oppress her. Fourth sister was so angry that she was hospitalized. Isn't that what you want? After hearing that, Grandpa Sheng looked at Sheng Minghui. What did you do to fourth sister this time? Grandpa, do you believe everything Sheng Xiao says? It doesn't matter if he believes it or not. Fourth sister is out there, and in a bad situation. Her fiancé was stolen and sold by her grandfather. Do you think she would rather die than go back to the Sheng family when she's so hurt? There's no point in talking about this. Grandpa Sheng would believe seventh sister in the end anyway. If that's the case, let fourth sister die outside. Everyone will be happy. What nonsense are you talking about? Grandpa Sheng slammed his fist on the table. Don't pretend to love fourth sister in front of me. Don't you know that your seventh sister is a person who bites the hand that feeds her? Fourth sister humiliated her at her engagement party. Do you think she would let her go? Sheng Xiao sneered. You're the only one in the Sheng family who believes in her nonsense. With that, Sheng Xiao served the dishes to Mu Qiqi and stopped talking about Sheng Minglan. But Grandpa Sheng kept it in his heart and asked seventh sister. Did you ask someone to cause trouble for your fourth sister? Grandpa, tell me. You know the consequences if I find out. Grandpa Sheng pointed at seventh sister with his walking stick. Seventh sister was so frightened that she stood up and took 2 steps back. I just asked my friend to take care of fourth sister. I didn't want to hurt her. Come here. Grandpa Sheng said calmly after getting the answer. Grandpa, come here. Grandpa Sheng beckoned with his finger. Chapter 303. Sheng Minghui was shocked. Grandpa, how could you do this to me? If you can do this to your fourth sister, why can't I do the same to you? Grandpa Sheng raised his voice and asked Sheng Minghui in return. There's no room for discussion. I'd like to see what else you can do to use the Sheng family to do whatever you want. Sheng Minghui lay on the floor and looked at everyone at the dining table. Then she burst into tears. All of you only know how to bully me. All of you bully me. Sheng Xiao had been eating elegantly from start to finish. He did not even want to look at Sheng Minghui. Mu Qiqi looked at Sheng Xiao and held his hand. She felt a little more at ease. Little one, what are you afraid of? I'm not afraid. I'm just a little emotional. She and Mu Tangxue had been like this before. Of course, she should not only see the negative side. After all, there were many people around her who treated her wholeheartedly. Sheng Xiao asked the people in Huangyao to take care of Minglan. That was more like a human. When Sheng Minghui heard that, she got up from the ground and ran back to her room in tears. And because of Sheng Minghui's behavior recently, Grandpa Sheng had started to consider if he should let her take over the planning department after the VVIP night of Huang Yao. How could such a vicious and narrow-minded person lead a team? Now he could not estimate her ability, even if she graduated from a prestigious university. When the time comes, she might not even be a tenth of Mu Qiqi's ability. That would be embarrassing. But deep down in Grandpa Sheng's heart, no matter how hateful Sheng Minghui was, she was still his granddaughter. But Mu Qiqi was not. So, even if Mu Qiqi was outstanding, she would not get such a good thing. Sheng Minghui was beaten up again during dinner. Although she was engaged to Will, she still stayed with the Sheng family, because she knew that Grandpa Sheng would not consider her after leaving the Sheng family. She would not be as stupid as Sheng Minglan. Later, Grandpa Sheng asked Mu Qiqi a few questions about the event. But Mu Qiqi easily brushed them off. She was always wary of the old man. Grandpa Sheng knew that Mu Qiqi was wary of him, so he stopped asking. This little thing was quite vigilant. In any case, Sheng Xiao had achieved his goal of going home for dinner. Although he knew very well that Sheng Minghui would hate him even more, it did not matter. In the end, it was either her or him who would die. The next day, Grandpa Sheng secretly went to the hospital to visit Sheng Minglan. He was very uncomfortable when he found her on N4 drip. Sheng Minglan was too soft-hearted. She would not say a thing even if she was bullied. What surprised him even more was that old Seventh could actually be so ruthless to his elder sister, Sheng Minghui. Because of this, Sheng Minghui had to stay in bed for 2 days. Her temper was bad, and she did not eat for 2 days. When the servant came to comfort her, she said, "If I die, all of you will be happy." Grandpa Sheng was furious. He went to Sheng Minghui's room to visit her. "If you continue to do this, I will consider changing the person in charge of the planning department. My love for you has been destroyed by your evil actions. You can choose if you want to continue. I can pretend that I never had you as my granddaughter. All the love I have for you has been erased by your vicious actions. Do you want to continue or do your part? Make your choice. At worst, I can pretend that I never had a granddaughter like you. Then don't play any tricks. When Mu Qiqi is done with the event, you can go and get the credit. Then, everyone will be happy. What's there to be unhappy about? Then don't play so many tricks. Once Mu Qiqi's event is over, you can go and claim the credit. Then, everyone will be happy. What else are you dissatisfied with? Then don't play any tricks. When Mu Qiqi is done with the event, you can go and get the credit. Then everyone will be happy. Why are you not satisfied?" Sheng Minghui held back her anger. She nodded. "Grandpa, I was wrong. I was wrong. I will listen to you." Grandpa Sheng did not know that the servant was standing at the door with the food. Sheng Minghui's door was not closed. When the servant heard this, she quietly pulled Mama Sheng aside after delivering the meal to Seventh Sister. Then, she told Mama Sheng everything that they had talked about. Mama Sheng was the only one in the family who was respectful and friendly to the servants. So, she could get help from the servants. It was the same when she went to Grandpa Sheng's room to look for the medicine. Mama Sheng's face changed when she heard that. She was prepared for it. She knew that Grandpa Sheng wanted to humiliate Mu Qiqi. But she did not expect that Grandpa Sheng would steal the fruits of a 19-year-old girl. That she could not accept it. Mama Sheng hesitated again and again. She paced back and forth in the house countless times, because she was weighing in her heart whether she should tell Xing Xiao about this. It was not until night time that she made up her mind. She called Xing Xiao. "Xing Xiao, I know why your grandfather asked Mu Qiqi to plan the VVIP night in Huangyao. I saw the change in the planning department. The leader has left, leaving behind a difficult task. Of course, I have to find someone to take over. Otherwise, when Sheng Minghui comes in and the event fails, she, as the person in charge of the planning department, would not be able to convince the others." Xing Xiao smiled. "You know about it? Mom, do you think I'm easy to fool?" Xing Xiao asked. "Do I need to think about it? Does Mu Qiqi know?" "Chi-er doesn't need to know. I will not let that happen. Moreover, Chi-er is only doing the event. She is a forensic doctor. I will not force her to do anything she doesn't like." Mama Xing nodded. "Since you're prepared, I'm relieved. That seventh sister is getting worse and worse. Her hatred for you and Xiaoqi should be as deep as the sea. Although I don't want to see you kill each other, I don't want you to give in either. Because she's a piece of trash. Mom, no one can touch Qi. Or were you when I am here? Alright then. You should rest early. Mama Sheng was relieved now that Sheng Xiao knew about it. She would not let her daughter-in-law suffer. Grandpa Sheng wanted to enjoy the fruits of her labor? How could there be such a good thing in the world? Of course, eighth brother's thoughts were also meticulous enough. He could see through the situation and know what the old man wanted to do. Sheng Xiao hung up the phone. He looked down at the little one who was sleeping in his arms. It was good enough for his little one to clean up the mess. Grandpa Sheng was still not satisfied. Chapter 304. Out of guilt towards Sheng Minglan. Grandpa Sheng asked Sheng Xiao to inform the people of Huang Yao to take care of her new company. So those who had fooled Sheng Minglan before all turned around and apologized. Not only did they come to negotiate the contract, they even invited Sheng Minglan to dinner. Actually, Sheng Minglan did not ask for that. She would be satisfied as long as Sheng Minghui did not cause trouble. Now that the negotiation of the contract was going smoothly, she had the urge to go on a date with Jing Yin. After all, Jing Yin had done his best, so that she would not be disturbed by the Sheng family. Now that there was no such problem, she naturally had to think about her own personal matters. Late at night, they were working overtime. Sheng Minglan finally saw Jing Yin putting away his documents. She got up from her desk and walked to him. Let's have supper together. Jing Yin looked up at Sheng Minglan. He did not refuse. Sure, but I have to bring you somewhere first. Sheng Minglan nodded. She was even a little happy. She thought that Jing Yin might have been enlightened. But when they reached their destination, Sheng Minglan was suddenly puzzled. Because it was just an ordinary roadside stall. Miss Minglan, you have never eaten something like this before, have you? As a young lady of the Sheng family, she had always been pampered. That was why Jing Yin brought her here. But I used to beg around here before I went to the Sheng family. Sheng Minglan looked a little embarrassed. You are always like this. You pull us apart like heaven and earth. Because it is the truth. Jing Yin turned around and looked at Sheng Minglan. Miss Minglan, although you have freedom now, what will the chairman do if he knows that you are with me? My life will only be more miserable. I am just an ordinary person. I don't want to be destroyed. So, I hope you can put your heart on someone else. Sheng Minglan felt as if her heart was being cut by a knife. Fine. You have hurt me. Although I've thought about what you've said, if one day grandfather finds out, I'll bear the consequences with you no matter how he treats you. But since you're afraid, I have nothing else to say. Go back. After all, you don't really want to eat supper. Jing Yun's throat was burning, but he did not speak. After Sheng Minglan got into the car, she had even less desire to speak. She looked out of the window, and after a while she said to Jing Yin, you should go back to Sheng Xiao. Not only that, but she also took out the gold card from her purse. I don't need your charity. I feel that since you don't want to face it, then there's really no need for us to meet. It'll just make us sad. Jing Yin was stunned when he saw the golden card. So she knew everything. Just drop me off at the entrance of the apartment. I'll hire an assistant tomorrow, so you don't have to report in. Jing Yin took a deep breath. He parked the car in front of Sheng Minglan's new apartment. She quickly got out of the car. Jing Yin looked at the gold card. She had finally regained her freedom. He did not want to ruin it for her. When she got home, she gave Sheng Xiao a call. I've talked to Jing Yin tonight, and told him not to come tomorrow. Don't tell him anything about me from now on. If he can't open his heart, don't force it. Sheng Xiao nodded. Sheng Xiao frowned when he heard that. What was Jing Yin hiding in his heart? Did he have to torture her like this? All right. Since it's your decision, I'll do as you say. Good night, Sheng Xiao. Mu Qiqi heard their conversation, and knew that Jing Yin was still unwilling to be with Sheng Minglan. She could only sigh. Maybe we're not fated to be together. It can't be helped if he wants to be like this. Sheng Xiao hugged Mu Qiqi. The next morning, Jing Yun went to Huang Yao to report in. Sheng Xiao did not show any unusual reaction. but he was very disdainful of Jing Yin. What kind of sadomasochistic love are you playing, young master? What are you afraid of when I'm here? Sheng Xiao asked in return. I'm telling you, fourth sister called last night and told you not to pay attention to her in the future. Otherwise, it'll be difficult for everyone. By the way, I've returned fourth sister's gold card to you, right? Jing Yin nodded. That's right. The young lady of the Sheng family pursued you and was rejected. You've got guts. Jing Yin tilted his head and said nothing. I'm warning you, fourth sister is trying to tell you that you've missed your only chance to open her heart. No matter who she meets in the future, it has nothing to do with you. If you want to continue being an ascetic, then go ahead. I'd like to see how long you can last. How retarded was this blockhead when it came to love? There was actually someone in this day and age who was willing to endure a silent, unrequited love. Idiot. Go to the planning department and help with the VVP night. I don't want to see you for the time being. Jing Yin left Sheng Zhao's office dejectedly at those words. Soon, Grandpa Sheng learned about Mu Qiqi's plan for the VVIP night. After all, Huang Yao belonged to him. It was easy for him to know about the event beforehand. Of course, Sheng Xiao did not intend to hide it from him. Since he knew the old master's purpose, he would openly show the old master how ingenious the plan for this event was. Grandpa Sheng read the plan. Of course, he could not find anything to nitpick. He also believed that Mu Qiqi had done it all by herself. Because Sheng Zhao's style was completely different. A 19-year-old girl's work was so creative. He didn't know if she was too smart, or if she was just lucky. Whatever the case may be, the old man was even more wary of Mu Qiqi. After all, there would be other women by Sheng Zhao's side in the future, and it would be even more difficult to deal with her if she was too smart. Moreover, Sheng Xiao alone was already a headache. No matter what, this credit must not be given to her in the end. This way, the outside world's recognition of her would increase. Although he was not satisfied with Sheng Minghui, she was still a Sheng. He could not let an outsider take advantage of her. After the VVIP night of Huang Yao, he would announce that Sheng Minghui would be the head of the planning department, because she was the biggest contributor to the success of the event. It was just a few days, so he would let Mu Qiqi be arrogant for a few more days. Chapter 305. Shen Ruoi? Shen Ruoi was the manager of this bar. To be frank, she just wanted to learn how to flirt with men. After all, she had yet to get close to the young master of the Sheng family. Minghui, why are you drinking here? Shen Ruoi took a glass of wine and sat in front of her. It's all because of Mu Qiqi and Sheng Xiao. Let's not talk about it. Then, Sheng Minghui drank another glass of wine. Didn't you just get engaged? Why are you having a hard time? It's hard with that bitch Mu Qiqi around. Sheng Minghui snorted. She did the same thing in the Shen family. So the three of us were chased out in the end. What do you think? Do you want to form an alliance? Well, I have something to ask of you. I have something that I want to achieve. How do you want to form an alliance? Introduce your eldest brother to me. I will help you to deal with Mu Qiqi. At least, she won't be able to enter the Sheng family as long as we are here. Shen Ruoi went straight to the point. Do you know why I'm suffering here? It's so that I can enter the Sheng family one day and fight with Mu Qiqi. Are you kidding me? My eldest brother is married. Isn't there a lot of womanizing going on outside? If so, what's the difference if I join him? Shen Ruoi gave her phone number when she saw that Sheng Minghui did not want to join. Call me when you have made up your mind. Anyway, you still have to suffer some losses before you know how powerful that little bitch is. Shen Ruoi did not say anything else. After all, she could not simply find a mistress for her eldest brother. What would happen if Grandpa Sheng knew about it? Her grandfather already hated her enough now. If she didn't keep her place, she would never be able to step into Huang Yao's door. So, Sheng Minghui forgot about Shen Ruoi after she returned to the Sheng family. When Grandpa Sheng saw her coming back drunk, he said angrily, "Are you going to take over the planning department of Huang Yao like this?" "Grandpa, I'm just not feeling well. From tomorrow onwards, stay at home and read the documents. You don't have much time." Everything was ready for the VVIP night. She just had to wait for that night to avenge herself. After the preparations were done, the staff of the planning department strongly requested for Mu Qiqi to go to Huang Yao for one last meeting with everyone. If anything unexpected happened, they would be able to react accordingly. Now, the people in the planning department seemed to have recognized Mu Qiqi's method and her ability. However, Grandpa Sheng did not intend to let Mu Qiqi interfere with the VIPs of Huang Yao anymore. Even though he knew that the planning department needed it, he could only ask Mama Sheng to appease them. When Sheng Minghui heard about it, she took the initiative to ask Grandpa Sheng, "Grandpa, since the event is almost ready, can you let me take a look at the venue and show my face? Just leave the meeting with the staff to me. Anyway, I will be there on the day of the event. It will be good for everyone to get to know each other." Grandpa Sheng thought about it and felt that Sheng Minghui was right. So he nodded and agreed. "If that's the case, you can go to the planning department for the last meeting. Have you read the proposal in detail?" "Yes, Grandpa." The planning department received a reply from their superior. They would indeed hold a final meeting before the event. But they did not know that the person who would hold the meeting was Sheng Minghui. When Mama Sheng heard about it, she could not help but smirk. She said to the secretary, "For the smooth progress of the event, bring Xiaoqi here before the meeting." "Do you not trust Miss Minghui?" "Why not? But just let her go during the meeting. Just wait and see. She is a half-baked person. She will only be despised by the staff in the planning department. When the time comes, I am afraid that Xiaoqi will be the one holding the fort." "I understand, madam." The secretary nodded. Mama Sheng had watched Sheng Minghui grow up in the Sheng family. How could she not know what she was capable of? Did she want to take the credit of others just like that? It would depend on whether she had the ability or not. When Mu Qiqi reached home, she heard about it from Sheng Xiao. She frowned. "Are we going to have a head-on conflict with that woman again? If there is a chance to slap her, why not?" Sheng Xiao asked her. "Moreover, you are the one who planned the event. Will you feel comfortable if someone criticizes your plan on the eve of the event? In the end, the credit will fall into someone else's hands. Won't you be angry?" "Xiao Xiao, don't tell me that this is Grandpa Sheng's evil plan." Mu Qiqi immediately understood the deeper meaning of Sheng Xiao's words. "You mean it, don't you?" Sheng Xiao chuckled and pinched Mu Qiqi's nose. "My little one, you are so smart. Then of course I will go. I will not let Grandpa Sheng have his way. Then, before the meeting, Mom's secretary will come to pick you up." Mu Qiqi nodded. She thought that this old man was really evil. How could he use such a trick to bully a 19-year-old girl? Was he not afraid of being laughed at? On the other hand, Sheng Minghui was very excited because she could enter Huang Yao soon. As a young lady of Huang Yao, she was destined to be a high-ranking official once she entered. In addition, with the credit, the people of Huang Yao naturally did not dare to complain too much about her. But in fact, it was not as good as she thought. After all, Huang Yao relied on its ability. Although the planning department had not done anything in recent years, it was because they were overcautious and had too many concerns. The meeting was scheduled for the afternoon 2 days later, and Sheng Minghui had already asked a luxury store to send her the latest professional suit of the season. When Grandpa Sheng saw it, he could not help but snort coldly. Although she was not capable, she had quite the style. But she was the young lady of the Sheng family. So he let her be. 2 days later, in the afternoon, Sheng Minghui arrived at Huang Yao in a luxury car in a white professional suit. The people in Huang Yao had already received the notice that Sheng Minghui was coming for a meeting with the planning department. So, no one dared to neglect her. At the same time, Grandpa Sheng also revealed that Sheng Minghui and Mu Qiqi were the ones who planned the VIPs of Huang Yao together. Otherwise, Mu Qiqi would not be convincing at her age. The people in Huang Yao were in awe of this soon-to-be manager of the planning department. As expected of the young lady of the Sheng family, she is indeed extraordinary. So Miss Minghui was the one who planned the activity room. Like I said, Mu Qiqi is only 19. How impressive. She did not even ask for credit. Miss Minghui is so low-key. Chapter 306. At this moment, the people in the planning department sat up straight. They were looking forward to seeing Mu Chichi again. They wanted to know what kind of advice she could give them. But the person who entered the meeting room was the seventh daughter of the Sheng family, Sheng Minghui. Everyone put down their pens and looked at each other. What kind of trick was the higher-ups playing this time? Sheng Minghui quickly sat down on the main seat. She quickly adjusted her mood and greeted everyone. Hello everyone. I am Sheng Minghui. I will be taking over the planning department soon. So, I will be the one holding the meeting today. Where is Miss Mu? She will not come to Huangyao anymore. After all, Grandpa gave her a small task. She has completed it. So, she will retire. I know that this is the last meeting of the event. If you have any questions, just ask. The people in the planning department looked at Sheng Minghui, but they could not say anything. The event was about to start. How could they send a stranger to them and ask them to listen to her? Miss Minghui, forgive me for being straightforward. Do you know the process of this event? I am the one who made the proposal. What do you think? Or else, do you think a 19-year-old girl like Mu Chichi could come up with such an interesting thing? Sheng Minghui did not blush at all. She took the credit for the proposal, but the people were not convinced. Since you are the one who made the proposal, why didn't you explain it to us? Why did you let Miss Mu attend the meeting? Because I was busy with other things. You are really busy with stealing your sister's fiancé. Some people rolled their eyes. Well, since you said that the proposal was made by you, we all believe you. Next, Miss Seven, please answer our questions. This time, what's the best way to present the jewelry that eldest young Master Lu gave to Madam at the heartwarming show? How should we divide the guests of the two main venues? What should we use? H. Oh right. We will use a Lincoln limousine to welcome the guests. What kind of red wine should we use for them? I have another idea. Sheng Minghui was stunned after hearing the questions from the staff. Do you need to welcome the guests? They have their own chauffeurs. Since the plan was made by you, Miss Seven, why didn't you know that the two home games couldn't be leaked in advance? Therefore, we arranged for them to be picked up personally, because we couldn't leave the address of the event on the invitation. And we also had to ensure that the guests would arrive at the venue accurately. Sheng Minghui became nervous when she heard that. She had only glanced through the proposal. Who would want to admit that a 19-year-old girl could come up with something earth-shattering? I forgot. It's okay, we can help you remember. Now Miss Seven, please make the arrangements. We are all waiting. Sheng Minghui felt guilty. So, she took out the event plan and started reading it. But the audience knew very well that she was not the one who made the plan. How could someone who had made the plan forget their own arrangements? Was he trying to steal the credit? Sheng Minghui just sat there for a long time without moving, because she could not answer those questions. She thought that she was here to listen to the report and show off. Seventh young lady? Seventh miss? You've been flipping through the proposal book for almost half an hour. The staff of the planning department reminded her. If you can't answer those questions, then let's let Miss Mu do it. Think carefully. I am the one in charge of the planning department in the future. Sheng Minghui's point was immediately pointed out. She was the one in charge. Then, it was fine if they did not keep the planning department. It would be worse than before. Then please answer our questions. At this moment, the door of the meeting room was pushed open by the secretary. Then Mu Chichi walked in. Everyone's eyes brightened when they saw her. Miss Mu, you are finally here. Miss Mu. When Sheng Minghui saw Mu Chichi, she stood up immediately. Who let you in? Get out. Mama Sheng stood in front of Mu Chichi when she heard her. I am here. How dare you ask anyone to get out? You admit that you are not capable enough. You even spread the news that you are the one who planned this event. Sheng Minghui, you are really shameless. You. Miss Mu, since you are here, please help us to solve these small problems. We are not sure. Mu Chichi looked at their questions and answered them one by one. This set of jewelry is priceless. Of course, we will let the guests see it. Then, we will let first Madam wear the jewelry in front of everyone's envious eyes. Then we will let eldest Lu appear. Then, age is only one part of the criteria for the two home stadiums. The statistics department has an analysis of their consumption. You can determine which home stadium they belong to based on the jewelry they bought, whether they are young or traditional. Then, make a list and send someone to pick them up. Don't prepare red wine in the car. Xiao Xiao has a cooperation with a perfume company. Prepare a set of high-class perfume to soothe the nerves, and put a copy of the event schedule in the box. This will achieve the effect of advertising and save some money. After all, what they want to know the most is the information about the jewelry. After listening to Mu Qiqi's arrangement, everyone was convinced. The whole department burst into applause. Sheng Minghui looked gloomy. Yes. Actually, I want to say that too. Sheng Minghui quickly added. But who would believe her? Everyone just rolled their eyes at her in contempt. Sheng Minghui, the company is not a place for you to play. You can be arrogant at home, and no one can control you. But now you are in the company. If you treat this as a game, then I advise you not to waste everyone's time. Mama Sheng walked to Sheng Minghui and said, There is a meeting in the planning department. Do you want to stay? Grandpa asked me to attend this meeting. She is just an outsider. Eldest aunt, you have to understand that this is the business of the Sheng family. All right. Then, you can help the planning department to solve the following problems. Mu Qiqi threw the problem in front of Sheng Minghui. If you can solve it, I will leave immediately. Otherwise, I can go to the Sheng family and look for Grandpa Sheng. I will see who he will help this time. It's not a big deal. I won't lose anything anyway. Are you threatening me, Mu Qiqi? If you don't know anything, then please shut up. Why don't you call Grandpa Sheng and ask him to attend the meeting? Don't think that I don't dare to. I didn't ask you to come today. You barged in without permission. Mu Qiqi, wait for Grandpa to teach you a lesson. Then, Sheng Minghui took out her phone and dialed Grandpa Sheng's number. Grandpa, you should come to Huang Yao quickly. I am being bullied to death. How shameless. Chapter 307. When Grandpa Sheng heard Sheng Minghui's aggrieved voice, he thought that the people in the planning department were too daring to disrespect the young lady of the Sheng family. So, he immediately left Sheng Mansion, intending to rush to Huang Yao as soon as possible. On the other hand, Sheng Minghui looked at Mama Sheng and Mu Qiqi provocatively after she finished her call. Grandpa is already on his way. He will reach Huang Yao soon. I would like to see how you are going to explain this to Grandpa. Eldest aunt. Mama Sheng and Mu Qiqi looked at each other. Then, she looked at the rest of the people in the planning department. She did not say anything but maintained her smile. Indeed, it was time for Grandpa Sheng to have a look. He wanted to see how his good granddaughter was in this meeting room. It was true that she was the young lady of the Sheng family, but she really did not have any ability. Miss Mu, will you be all right when the chairman comes later? The staff of the planning department looked at Mu Qiqi worriedly. Of course. Sheng Minghui snorted. Really? Let's wait and see then. Mu Qiqi winked at her, telling her not to worry. About 20 minutes later, Grandpa Sheng finally arrived at Huang Yao. He went straight to the door of the meeting room. When Sheng Minghui saw him, she immediately took Grandpa Sheng's hand and started to complain first. Grandpa, you are the one who asked me to host this meeting, right? But, eldest aunt still brought Mu Qiqi here. She doesn't respect you at all. Mama Sheng and the people in the planning department rolled their eyes. Why did the meeting end up like this? Did Sheng Minghui really not know? Grandpa Sheng looked at Mama Sheng with a sharp gaze. I arranged this, Xiaoqin. Okay, Dad. I know you arranged this. But, if seventh sister could continue with the meeting, Mu Qiqi would not be here. Mama Sheng said straightforwardly. Mom, since Grandpa is here, let's go out. We don't want to disturb seventh sister's meeting. After all, there are still many things in the planning department waiting for seventh sister to solve. Mu Qiqi quickly stopped Mama Sheng. There was no need to find trouble with Grandpa Sheng in such an occasion. He could do whatever he wanted. Okay. When Sheng Minghui saw that, she immediately said to Grandpa Sheng, Grandpa, you're the best. I couldn't chase them away no matter how hard I tried. Everyone sneered, and Mama Sheng left the meeting room with Mu Qiqi. Sheng Minghui was finally satisfied. But it did not mean that Grandpa Sheng did not see the expressions of the staff in the planning department. Since Mu Qiqi and Xiaoqin are gone, let's continue the meeting. I'll stay here and watch over you, the old man said as he walked to a seat. Seventh brother began to panic. Grandpa, you're here. I'm nervous. It's okay. You'll get used to it sooner or later. Let's start. You guys can start too. With Grandpa Sheng's instructions, the planning department continued with the questions. Miss Mu, you have solved 3 of them just now. Let's move on to the next one. We talked about the warmth theme just now. Now let's talk about the fashion theme. Miss Mu, you mentioned that you want to use this opportunity to promote Huang Yao's new products. But what should we focus on? Because everyone knows that Huang Yao has a lot of new products. It's impossible to bring out all of them. The publicity department doesn't dare to make a rash decision. Miss Qiqi, what do you think? Seventh sister was stunned. Her body stiffened. She looked at the staff in the planning department, and then at Grandpa Sheng. Then she smiled awkwardly. Well, and although the VVIP night of Huang Yao has a fixed time every year, and almost everyone in Jianchuan knows about it, the publicity department still asked if we should come up with a new way to promote it this year. After hearing the second question, seventh sister froze on the spot again. She even looked at Grandpa Sheng for help. Grandpa Sheng knew what was going on. He remained silent for a while. Then, he said to the staff in the planning department, "Get Mu Qiqi here." Grandpa. Seventh sister was shocked. Grandpa Sheng did not say anything. He just sat on the spot with his walking stick. After a while, Mu Qiqi came in. Of course, she knew what was going on in the meeting room. Mu Qiqi, you will be in charge of this meeting. Grandpa. Seventh sister stomped her feet. She wanted to walk out of the meeting room, but Grandpa Sheng scolded her. Just sit in your seat. You don't need to go anywhere. Sheng Minghui blushed. She could only sit on her seat unwillingly. Miss Mu, these are the last 2 questions. Mu Qiqi nodded after reading it. Huang Yao does have a lot of new products, but they are not suitable to be advertised on the VVIP platform because they are already on the market. In other words, anyone with money can buy them. This is not attractive to the rich ladies who contribute a lot of money to Huang Yao every year. Mu Qiqi nodded. Why is it limited to the whole world? That's because they want to be respected. They want to be able to enjoy things that others can't. So, the direction of the promotion is the new products that will be released in the next quarter. It is not yet in the market. This way, we can warm up the new products and ensure the sales of the next quarter. The staff in the planning department nodded. Understood. As for the publicity, Huang Yao has set a fixed time to let everyone know that these few days are Huang Yao's event days. With Huang Yao's current status, it doesn't seem like we should waste this money, but only the top 50 people participate in the VVIP night every year. But are there only 50 rich people in Jianchuan? Moreover, I have seen the name list. These 50 people don't change much. Don't you want new blood to join? As for the new products that I've set up, I'm calling out to those who haven't joined the VVIP night to spend more next year. Only by joining the VVIP night will you be able to enjoy the latest products of the year and become the most honorable symbol of Jianchuan. So the promotion is not for the general public. It is to remind those who are not in the top 50 that they should work harder. This is also the goal of the VVIP night. So, do you think we should promote it? After Mu Qiqi finished, the staff in the planning department could not help but clap. This little girl was really amazing. She had set the direction for the VVIP night. This way, they would not have to worry about it in the future. Grandpa Sheng listened quietly and clapped too. But what about seventh sister? She was so guilty that she did not dare to look Grandpa Sheng in the eyes. How could she be so shameless? Chapter 308. You. Don't think that I don't know that Sheng Xiao taught you all these. Otherwise, how could you know so much about dissecting corpses? Miss Minghui, that's impossible. The people in the planning department immediately denied Sheng Minghui's words. You should know that we have just sorted out these problems before the meeting. unless the crown prince can predict the future. Enough. At this time, Grandpa Sheng stood up and sneered. Why are you still arguing? You are a finance graduate from a prestigious university. How can you be compared to a girl who plays with a scalpel? I was so confident that you could lead the planning department well. Now that I think about it, maybe I am an old fool. Grandpa, no, I am not like this. If I had not tried, I would not have known that the granddaughter I am so proud of is like this in the company. This old face of mine has been completely thrown away by you today. Grandpa Sheng stood up straight and took a deep breath. You still have the cheek to call me and say that you were bullied? If I were you, I would hide under the table. Do you know that? Grandpa. Sheng Minghui quickly reached out to hold Grandpa Sheng's hand, but Grandpa Sheng shook her off. It seems that you are not suitable to enter Huangyao. Don't interfere with the planning department's affairs in the future. Grandpa, give me another chance. I will perform well. Sheng Minghui panicked and quickly held Grandpa Sheng's hand. Grandpa Sheng did not look at Sheng Minghui. Instead, he looked at Mama Sheng, who was standing at the door. If she wants to enter Huangyao, arrange a job for her as a typist. Let her start from scratch. A young lady of the Sheng family becoming a typist? Wasn't that even worse than killing Sheng Minghui? How could she endure such humiliation? Grandpa, you will regret this. After saying that, Sheng Minghui ran out of the meeting room in tears. Grandpa Sheng's expression did not change, but he could not do anything about it. Before he left the meeting room, he said to Sheng Minghui, finish this meeting and this event. Then go back to your school. Grandpa, I let seventh sister know so much today and made her feel humiliated. She will definitely take revenge. I don't care, but I can't guarantee whether she will leak the news in advance. The painstaking efforts of the planning department and the publicity department are all in this. Grandpa Sheng was aware of that. After all, even if he disliked Mu Qiqi, he would not joke around with Huang Yao. Moreover, the event this time was of utmost importance. If old seventh really dared to do this, she would definitely cripple this granddaughter of hers. Don't worry, she can't do it. With that, Grandpa Sheng left Huang Yao. Today was a lesson for him. His face was swollen after being slapped by seventh brother. He thought that even if seventh brother was a dabbler, he should know something. However, when he saw seventh brother acting like a yes man just now, he knew how stupid his decision was. After Mu Qiqi's adjustments, the status of the planning department would definitely rise and become more and more important in the future. The minds of these employees seemed to have been activated by Mu Qiqi and gained new creativity. Since that was the case, of course, he would not let seventh sister be the person in charge. At the same time, he really saw Mu Qiqi's ability and creativity. This was not something that Sheng Xiao could teach. The people in the planning department were all excited when they saw that Mu Qiqi was finally recognized. Miss Mu, let's continue. There is not much time left, Mu Qiqi nodded. This time, she could sit down and have a peaceful meeting. Sheng Minghui drove around angrily. Grandpa Sheng sent the chauffeur to follow her. Because from this moment on, all her actions must be strictly monitored. Sheng Minghui hated Mu Qiqi, but there was nothing she could do. She was slapped in the face in public. Grandpa Sheng was still on Mu Qiqi's side. What could she do? Sooner or later, she would cut Mu Qiqi into pieces. Soon, the news of the meeting spread in the company. Before this, Grandpa Sheng wanted to ask Sheng Minghui to take away Mu Qiqi's credit. But after the meeting, the people in the planning department and the publicity department had become Mu Qiqi's water supply. Whenever someone said that Sheng Minghui was the planner of the event, they would be attacked like a hornet's nest. What planner? If she is really the planner, how could she not know anything in the meeting? She is the Sheng family's Miss Minghui. Was she adopted by the Sheng family? Why is she so different from the others in the Sheng family? Look at the crown prince. Look at Madame Sheng and the others. This Miss Minghui is simply a good-for-nothing. Isn't that right? She still wants to take away other people's credit. She needs to show her ability first. Groups after groups of people were laughing at Sheng Minghui and the company. At the same time, the people from the other departments were also curious about how exciting the event in Huangyao was. Why did this group of people agree with Mu Qiqi so much? Wherever Sheng Xiao passed by, he could hear praises for his little one. It was imaginable that his little one had gained a lot of attention in the meeting. After this incident, he thought that Grandpa Sheng would not hand over the planning department to Sheng Minghui for the time being. Sheng Minghui did not want to go home. She had nowhere to go, so she went to the bar where she drank last time. Of course, she also thought of Shen Ruai. Shen Ruai had made a bet that she would lose to Mu Qiqi. She did not expect that it would come true so soon. At that time, Shen Ruai said that if she could help Shen Ruai get to know her eldest brother, Shen Ruai would help her to deal with Mu Qiqi. When Sheng Minghui thought of Mu Qiqi's proud face in the meeting today, she could not bear it anymore. She said to the bartender, "Fine manager Shen. You are too fast. I thought you would still be able to hold on for a while." Shen Ruai walked out of the inner court and sat beside Sheng Minghui. "What is it this time? Are you going to promise me as long as I promise you?" Sheng Minghui asked Shen Ruai. This time, she had made up her mind to fight Mu Qiqi to the death. "Of course." Shen Ruai nodded. "All right, there's something I need you to do for me." Mu Qiqi's guess was right. To deal with her, Sheng Minghui was willing to sacrifice the event and the benefits of Huang Yao. She just wanted to embarrass her. "I can't do that. You have to be my matchmaker first. Anyway, I won't be able to run away when I meet your eldest brother. Why are you so anxious?" Chapter 309. It's a deal. They reached an agreement quickly, but Sheng Minghui did not know that her every move was under Grandpa Sheng's surveillance. The driver sent by Grandpa Sheng returned to Sheng Mansion after he took a photo of them. Then, he reported to Grandpa Sheng in the study. "Chairman, this is the photo I took. I found out that Miss Minghui is in contact with this woman." Grandpa Sheng's face changed when he saw the photo. "Humph. What good can they do when they are together? What should we do now?" "Keep a close watch on her. Although I don't like Mu Qiqi, this event will bring Huang Yao many times more profits. So Minghui must not be a hindrance to this event. It's time to arrange a place for her." Grandpa Sheng had been very lenient to Sheng Minghui, but this girl had not changed at all. He had listened to Mu Qiqi's arrangements at the meeting today. He had to admit that her event was the most creative one Huang Yao had in recent years. If it could be carried out smoothly, Huang Yao's revenue for the next year would be immeasurable. If Sheng Minghui was not broad-minded enough, she would definitely go against Mu Qiqi. Then, he had no other choice. In life, one had to give up something. Grandpa Sheng called Sheng Xiao after he knew that the two women were in contact with each other. Although they never got along well, Sheng Xiao was happy to see Qiyer's enemy. "Sheng Minghui and Shen Ruai are in cahoots. I don't know what they are planning. You must keep an eye on them. Don't let them spread the news. Also, send someone to keep an eye on the Liu family. Keep an eye on those two first." Mu Qiqi could not help but sigh when she knew about it. Shen Ruai is still dreaming. I wonder what kind of deal they have made. If you want to know, just keep an eye on them. Sheng Xiao lowered his head and looked at the little one. He smiled when he saw that she was playing with the simulated heart. "You are getting more and more hardcore these days. Are you afraid?" Mu Qiqi put the heart in front of him and smiled. "Xiao Xiao, I will touch more limbs and maggots in the future. Can't you stand it now? Are you provoking me?" Sheng Xiao put down the model in her hand and slapped her butt. "Are you hinting that I should bathe you a few more times a day? I don't want it." Mu Qiqi resisted. "Let me go. I want to continue my research. Just sit on me." Mu Qiqi did not refuse. After all, it was more comfortable than sitting on a chair. Moreover, Sheng Minghui was digging her own grave now. If this continued, Grandpa Sheng would not be able to stand her. Not very soon, but she couldn't take it anymore. After Sheng Minglan refused Jing Yun's help, she spent a lot of money to hire an all-round assistant. Although he was not someone she liked, he was still very capable. Although she would sometimes think that it was a pity to miss Jing Yun, what could she do if the door to his heart remained closed like that? The two of them worked very well together, and Sheng Minglan gradually trusted this new assistant. Soon the two expanded their business overseas. Sheng Minglan also decided that she would attend the conference abroad in person, and this time, she and her assistant were the only ones on the trip. If things went well, she was prepared to stay abroad for half a month, so that she could change her mood. Moreover, she did not tell anyone that she was leaving Jianchuan. To avoid contact with Jing Yin, she did not even have time to call Sheng Xiao now. Mu Qiqi had thought that she could visit fourth sister when she had the time, but she only found out that she had left the country when she reached her office. And she was going with the new assistant. Moreover, the new assistant seemed to have good qualifications. More importantly, he was also single. What if they got to know each other for a long time and fell in love with each other? Jing Yin was really making people anxious. After returning home, Mu Qiqi sat on the sofa and sighed. Jing Yin's blockhead was really infuriating. Sheng Xiao found Mu Qiqi dejected when he got home, and guessed that she was worried about someone else's matter again. Xiao Xiao say, why does Jing Yin have to live so restrained and tired? A handsome assistant has appeared by Sister Four's side. If he still doesn't make a move, Sister Four will belong to someone else. Can't help it. It's a dead end. I really want to piss him off, or I would be angry for nothing. Isn't that simple? The next day, Sheng Xiao deliberately mentioned Sheng Minglan's new assistant in front of Jing Yin. It's lucky that you're not staying by fourth sister's side anymore, or she wouldn't be able to get to know that golden assistant. Let's see when they get married. Jing Yin said nothing, but his heart felt like it was being cut by a knife. His body and mind had never been so exhausted after so many years. During this period of time, he had been working overtime to forget the pain. But when young master mentioned it so casually, his wound was torn open again. Sheng Xiao could tell from his back that the fellow was very upset. Even so, he was the one who asked for it. Still, it was rare that Jing Yin fell sick the next day, and took a day off to rest at home. Why was he so insistent if he couldn't stand the agitation? Mu Qiqi suddenly sympathized with Jing Yin when she learned about it. You actually made him sick. Who can he blame for working day and night? Sheng Xiao couldn't help snorting coldly. Should we tell fourth sister? Consider it as giving them one last chance? I'm too lazy to help. If we don't help them, no one will. Mu Qiqi hugged Sheng Xiao's arm and said, I'll send a message to fourth sister. Sheng Xiao was too lazy to care about her. Mu Qiqi took out her phone and sent a message to Sheng Minglan. She told her that Sheng Xiao had told Jing Yin that there was a possibility for her and the new assistant to continue their relationship. She was so angry that she fell sick. Sheng Minglan had just finished her meeting. When she saw the message, she couldn't sit still anymore. She asked her assistant to buy a ticket back home. But it's nighttime now. Don't we have a night ticket? Sheng Minglan was really anxious. Maybe she was afraid that Jing Yin would misunderstand her. Or maybe she was worried about Jing Yin's health. No matter what, she was eager to go home. Although the assistant did not understand, he still did as he was told. Judging from Sheng Minglan's reaction, she must be doing it for her lover. On the other hand, Sheng Minghui didn't know that she was under Grandpa Sheng's surveillance. She went to the bar at night and met Shen Ruai. Chapter 310. That's the best. Shen Ruai nodded. You can tell me what you need me to do after I meet your eldest brother. It's a deal. Sheng Minghui wondered how her eldest sister-in-law would feel if she knew what Sheng Minghui had done. Perhaps, he even had the intention to kill her. That night, it was already 11 o'clock when Sheng Minglan returned to Jianchuan. But she did not have time to change her clothes. She asked Sheng Xiao for Jing Yin's address and drove there. Jing Yin was too tired, and his stomach was not feeling well. Although he had taken the medicine, he still had a fever. Sheng Xiao's words were the main reason why he was in such a bad mood. How could a person be invincible? Soon, Sheng Minglan arrived at Jing Yin's house. Although she was still hesitant, she still pressed the doorbell bravely. Jing Yin endured the pain and got off the bed. When he opened the door and saw Sheng Minglan, he was shocked. Before he could show any expression on his sick face, Sheng Minglan already knew that he was very sick. Miss Minglan. Sheng Minglan heard his hoarse voice. She reached out and touched his forehead. When she found that it was burning, she pushed him into the room. Why don't you go to the hospital? How long have you been burning? I'm fine. Jingyan defended himself. If you keep burning, you will become stupid. How can you be fine? Where's the thermometer? Jingyan lay back on the bed and pointed at the thing on the bedside. Sheng Minglan took it and ordered him. Open your mouth. Jingyan did not move. I asked you to open your mouth. Jingyan was helpless. He opened his mouth obediently. 2 minutes later, Sheng Minglan saw the thermometer explode. You don't think of yourself as a human. Let me find the medicine for you first. Then, I will lower your temperature. Seeing Sheng Minglan getting up, Jingyan reached out and grabbed her. Why don't you run away after I let you go? Sheng Minglan got rid of Jingyan's grip and answered him. Just take it that I'm a slut tonight. How could you be a slut to me? He didn't know if it was because of his illness, but he lost some of his water chestnuts and became much cuter. Don't say anything else. If you keep this up, it will be really serious. Having said that, Sheng Minglan found the first aid kit and gave Jingyan a strong antipyretic. But his stomach wasn't feeling well now. If the medicine was too strong, his stomach would definitely feel uncomfortable. So for a moment, he was in so much pain that he curled up into a ball. Sheng Minglan sighed and helped him up. Then she gave him a massage. Why torture yourself like this? You have a new assistant. Yes, I have a new assistant. I need someone to help me, explained Sheng Minglan. Will you like him? Don't you know who I like? If I didn't like this person, I would have rushed back from abroad. I haven't showered for 2 days. I just finished a meeting in the afternoon, and I heard that Xiao Qi said that you were sick. I couldn't sit still, but I'm glad that I'm back. Otherwise, are you planning to die alone in the house tonight? Xiao Qi's face turned red. That's right. Fourth miss. Don't call me fourth miss. Sheng Minglan was a little angry. Although I'm the young lady of the Sheng family, he ignored me when I took the initiative to pursue him. Jingyan couldn't stand the pain anymore. He grabbed Sheng Minglan's hand. Can you be quiet for a minute? Sheng Minglan immediately stopped talking. But after a while, she couldn't bear it anymore. Let's go to the hospital. We don't have much money. Or should I ask the doctor to come? Jingyan didn't say anything. He fainted from the pain. Because of the pain, he became weaker. His immune system became weaker, and his fever wouldn't go down. Sheng Minglan was helpless. She could only call the doctor and ask him to come quickly. The night passed just like that. And Jingyan's fever only went down in the morning. Sheng Minglan was really tired. She leaned on the sofa and fell asleep. When Jingyan woke up and saw his beloved in front of him, he suddenly felt that it was a strange dream. Soon Sheng Minglan woke up too. Seeing Jingyan's eyes wide open, she was no longer angry. Are you hungry? Jingyan shook his head. Does your stomach still hurt? Jingyan shook his head too. I'll make you some porridge. Having said that, Sheng Minglan got up. But Jingyan suddenly grabbed her and pulled her into his arms. You're so cunning. Why did you attack me when my will was at its weakest? Sheng Minglan hugged Jingyan back. Who asked you to be so weak? I don't want to see you with your new assistant. Do you think I would be with him just because he's an assistant? Sheng Minglan didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Our relationship has been built for more than 10 years. Ordinary people can't compare. Jingyan was finally relieved after hearing Sheng Minglan's words. Can you let me go now? Jingyan slowly let go. But it was obvious that there was less wariness in his eyes. There was more affection. Sheng Minglan got up and went to the kitchen to make porridge for Jingyan. This man was really too passionate. If he didn't want her to be with other men, he could have just said it. But he kept everything in his heart and made a mess of himself. He asked for it. But no matter what, Sheng Minglan knew that Jingyan had opened up a little to her and was not completely resistant. Although he would still be on his guard when he encountered sensitive issues in the future, she believed that she would have more courage after today's response and move on. Come to think of it, that sly Xiao Qi was really popular. That morning, Jingyan fell asleep again after having his porridge. It was only then that Sheng Minglan found a chance to call Mu Qiqi. That piece of wood's fever has subsided. Fourth sister. Is there anything different about that piece of wood that's sick? Xiaoqi. Mu Qiqi held back her laughter. If that's the case, I won't go see Jing Yin in the morning. You guys continue. Sheng Minglan blushed all the way to her neck. Mu Qiqi could imagine how enchanting it must have been when they were together last night. Finally, her efforts were not in vain. Fourth sister had come to his house in the middle of the night. If Jing Yin could still hold himself back, he would really be inhuman. While Jing Yin was asleep, Sheng Minglan wandered around his house. He did not take anything away from the Sheng family except for the gifts. They would be there wherever he was. Moreover, the gold card she returned to Jing Yun had been dismembered by Jing Yun. To him, if the money could not help Sheng Minglan, it would be useless to him. How could there be such a stupid person in this world? Sheng Minglan took out some transparent glue and stuck the gold card back on. Chapter 311. When he woke up, he put on his handmade suit and planned to report to Huang Yao. Sheng Minglan was a little angry when she saw him coming out of the bedroom. Your fever hasn't subsided yet. I'm already feeling much better. Besides, I only took a day off yesterday. You've been working day and night all these years. How much leave does eighth brother owe you? Sheng Minglan was a little unhappy. Rest for one more day before you go back. What about you? Isn't the company busy? There's a new assistant. Didn't Jing Yin dislike her new assistant? That was why Sheng Minglan sounded a little awkward when she mentioned the new assistant. As expected, Jing Yin was stunned for a moment, but he still did not plan to rest. I'll accompany you to the company. You work, I'll rest. But how can I rest well in a place like the company? To me, not working is resting. Let's go. I'll send you back to change your clothes. Sheng Minglan felt that something was not right, but she did not reject him. Yesterday, she had rushed to Jing Yun's house anxiously. They had just negotiated a deal, and they had yet to finalize it. When we get to the company, you don't have to worry about anything. Just rest. Can you do that? Jing Yun nodded. Sheng Minglan only left with Jing Yun after she was satisfied. She did not let Jing Yun drive. It was still dangerous for someone who had taken the medicine. They arrived at the company in the afternoon. When the employees saw Jing Yun following Sheng Minglan, they wondered if Jing Yun was coming back to help their CEO. But when Jing Yun entered her office, he sat down at her rest area and leaned against the wall lazily. Sheng Minglan glanced at him and asked someone to buy a blanket for him. Then, she gently covered him with it. When the new assistant saw that Sheng Minglan had returned to the company, he took the contract and knocked on her office door. When he entered and saw that there was someone in the lounge, he was stunned. Chief Sheng, this is the contract. Leave it. Is there anything else? I also need you to look through my schedule for the next few days. Alright, leave it here too. I'll take a look later. Sheng Minglan's attitude towards work was obvious. Naturally, she had no personal feelings towards her new assistant. After hearing that, Jing Yin was relieved and fell asleep on the sofa. Wasn't a man such a creature? He was trying his best to identify the things that were dangerous and threatening to him. For the rest of the day, Jing Yin rested while Sheng Minglan busied herself. When it was time to knock off, the two left the new company. On the surface, they appeared no different from usual. But the problem was that Jing Yin did not do anything when he came to the company today. He simply slept in Sheng Minglan's office. Do you think Chief Sheng and Special Assistant Jing are a couple? They've been together for more than 10 years. It's normal for them to be a little intimate. Don't you think that Special Assistant Jing came to the company today to announce his status? When they were in the parking lot, Sheng Minglan heard the employees talking about their relationship. She blushed at once. When Jing Yin said that he was going to the company to rest, she thought that he was going to accompany her. However, after being reminded, she felt that Jing Yin really did have a purpose for coming here. Could it be because of the new assistant? Was he jealous? The car is here. Let's go. Jing Yin did not smile the whole time. Even though he was being talked about, he did not seem to care. Still, Sheng Minglan had questions in her mind. Jing Yin was the driver on the way back. Sheng Minglan sat beside him. Jing Yin gave people the feeling that he was always restrained and steady, so she felt a different sense of security when she was with him. It was different from when she was with Sheng Xiao. It made her feel very secure. Even so, she still had to ask what she had to ask. Jing Yin, what is our relationship now? Jing Yin turned to look at Sheng Minglan and said, Young master always says that Miss Chi-Chi dragged him into hell. But he was never at the entrance to hell. I am the one who is sure that it is me. I just hope that you won't regret being with me. Even if the chairman wants to deal with me one day, I will try my best to protect you. If Chi-Chi can stand by Sheng Zhao's side, why can't I? Sheng Minglan said firmly. As long as you don't run away. With those words, Sheng Minglan hugged Jing Yin's right arm. Of course, it was under the condition that she did not interfere with his driving. That night, it was a good show that Sheng Minghui had arranged. She arranged for Shen Ruai to join her eldest brother's dinner. Well, as her eldest brother, it was a common thing for him to flirt with women. Of course, after all these years, big sister-in-law's heart had already been broken. Now the two of them were practically having their own fun. But big sister-in-law had a principle. Her fun was not the same as a man's fooling around. She simply loved to travel. But she would never go out to find a man and embarrass elder Mo. After all, even if they were to get a divorce, she would still be able to stand firm. But she had never expected that Sheng Minghui would introduce a mistress to her husband. Because eldest brother Sheng was mixed blood, so his appearance was very attractive to women. It was also his natural capital. And when eldest brother Sheng wanted to cooperate with him, he must find a beautiful woman as his companion. So, Sheng Minghui arranged for Shen Ruai to be with a group of beautiful women. When eldest brother Sheng saw Shen Ruai, he was shocked. After all, she was the daughter of the Shen family. Why would she come to a hotel to accompany a guest? Ruai you. Shen Ruai walked to eldest brother Sheng and said, You're here to have fun today. So don't ask me why I'm in this situation. Brother Sheng, please buy me. Otherwise, someone else will buy me. According to seniority, eldest brother Sheng was Shen Ruai's uncle. But the age difference between them was not convincing. Eldest young master Sheng thought for a while. Shen Ruai's body was very beautiful under her revealing clothes. He could not just watch Shen Ruai being molested. So he nodded. All right. You can sit next to me. Shen Ruai had learned a lot of new things in the bar recently. She especially learned how to make a man happy. Eldest brother Sheng did not have those thoughts. He just met someone he knew. However, Shen Ruai's faint touch and her fragrance were stimulating eldest brother Sheng. Soon Grandpa Sheng knew about it. When he saw the photo, he was furious. How shameless. How slutty. How could she do such a thing to her own brother? Chairman, what are you going to do now? Chapter 312. But nothing happened that night. Eldest brother Sheng respected Grandpa Shen. So, he would not do anything to Shen Ruai. He only promised that he could arrange for Shen Ruai to stay in the apartment under his name. To put it bluntly, this was similar to keeping. Soon, eldest brother Sheng returned home. Old Sheng glanced at him, but did not show any sign of abnormality. He simply wanted to see if eldest brother was so lustful that he would touch the granddaughter of a family friend. Of course, Grandpa Shen would also send someone to inform the Shen family. Although Shen Ruai was chased out of the Shen family, she was still a descendant of the Shen family. If this matter was spread out, the Shen family would be in trouble. As for Sheng Minghui, he decided to find a time to gather the whole family. Most importantly, he still did not know what the deal between Sheng Minghui and Shen Ruai was. Sheng Minghui was completely unaware that she was now under Grandpa Sheng's control. She felt that she had fulfilled Shen Ruai's wish. So she wanted Shen Ruai to reward her. Help me leak the news about Huang Yao. Tell them that there will be 2 main venues for the VVIP event, and that the 2 wives of the Liu family will be separated. Knowing how much eldest madam hates youngest madam, she will not just sit back and watch. She will definitely think of a way to embarrass youngest Madam Liu. Let's see how Muchichi will be able to act so arrogantly in front of me then. After Shen Ruai heard that, she felt that Sheng Minghui had gone all out. Even an outsider like her knew how important Huang Yao's VVIP night was. You're too ruthless. If I don't do that, how can I make Muchichi pay the price? We can't publicize this matter. We only need to let Dr. Lu know about it. Sheng Minghui told Shen Ruai over the phone. I've fulfilled your wish. Now let's see your performance. But, would Shen Ruai really have the chance to get close to the Lu family? Apart from the old man's men, Sheng Xiao and eldest Lu were also on guard. She wanted to see eldest madam? He would probably have to wait until his next life. However, she still agreed verbally very quickly. Minghui, let's help each other from now on. I'll definitely help you handle this matter beautifully. Unfortunately, the two of them colluded with each other and tried their best to come up with a solution. However, in the eyes of smart people, they were just lab rats that could be pinched to death at any time. 2 days later, when Muchichi saw Jingyan again, he was the one who came to deliver the documents to Xiao Xiao. From his face, one could still see that he was pale, but he was in good spirits and seemed to be a lot more relaxed. Look at you, didn't you ask for it? If you had confessed your feelings earlier, you wouldn't have gotten sick from Xiao Xiao's anger. Miss Chichi, Miss Minglan is the jewel of the Sheng family. I don't know if she would be able to endure the life if the chairman were to attack her in the future. I don't want her to suffer because of me. Muchichi pouted impatiently and shook her head. What do you think Grandpa Sheng can do to you with Xiao Xiao around? I don't want to add to young master's burden. Why did you follow Xiao Xiao for so long? Isn't it because he has the ability to protect whoever he wants? Jingyan stopped talking. At the end of the day, it was because he cared too much. So, are you two not fighting with each other anymore? Is fourth sister your girlfriend now? Muchichi asked the person in question, but Sheng Xiao grabbed her by the collar and dragged her back. Little one, you women should ask other women about this kind of thing. Oh, Muchichi behaved herself. Jingyan blushed a little. He passed the documents to Sheng Xiao and said softly, "We have confirmed our relationship." Muchichi was so excited when she heard that. Well done. We will form an alliance against Grandpa Sheng in the future. Fourth sister must be very happy. Jingyan did not change much, but Muchichi knew that the blockhead was secretly happy. Young master, the chairman intercepted these things this morning. Jingyan was afraid that it would be awkward, so he quickly changed the topic. Sheng Xiao opened the documents and smirked. Sheng Minglan is courting death. Moreover, this matter is related to the Shen family. Take a look. Sheng Xiao passed the documents to Muchichi. Muchichi took the documents and was shocked. Is Shen Ruai crazy? What does she want to do? Miss Chichi, you don't know this. The young master of the Sheng family has many women. Shen Ruai is doing this because she wants to use him to attack the Sheng family. Or she is doing this for you. Seventh sister is really reckless. I have never seen a sister like her. She introduced her eldest brother directly. Muchichi could not finish her words, because it was difficult to say it. If this matter is exposed, the reputation of the Sheng and Shen families will be ruined. I have to go back and meet father and grandpa. As for seventh sister, Sheng Xiao turned around and looked at Muchichi. He said, I am afraid that Grandpa Sheng is going to put righteousness before family. He will not pay too much attention to the conflicts between brothers and sisters, as long as it is not too ugly. But, seventh sister is harming the interests of Huang Yao. That is Grandpa Sheng's bottom line. What will Grandpa do? Let's wait and see. Shen Ruai tried to contact the people of the Lu family, but she failed. Grandpa Sheng's connections were certainly not a joke. But the two of them were still feeling proud of themselves. Jingyan, go to the Lu family. Pretend to be a member of the Lu family, and reply to Shen Ruai. Tell her that first madam has already known about the VVIP night of Huang Yao. Let's see what they are going to do next. I will arrange it. Jingyan nodded. If the two of them were to do anything, they would be destroyed by Grandpa Sheng. Shen Ruai received the reply from the Lu family very soon. Eldest Lu had already known about Huang Yao's evil plan. They had deliberately set up 2 stages to separate her. And that little SL*T. She would not let it go so easily. She would definitely cause trouble for Huang Yao. Shenrui showed the result to 7th sister. She pretended to take credit. Do you know how much effort I have put in, and how many tricks I have used to contact this first madam? In order to thank me, can you also tell me the whereabouts of your big brother? I will tell you later when I find out. 7th sister was very satisfied with the result. She was waiting for eldest Lu to show up, so that she could slap Mu Chichi in the face. What was so great about the most creative event? You're tuning in to the Li Mei Sword of Destiny YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support. And don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.